Okay, welcome everyone to another episode of the Performer Chat podcast. I'm so excited. Nick KB is our guest tonight.
Woo! I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we did the first two episodes, and he reached out right away and said, "Hey, you guys are having a lot of fun. I like what you're doing. How can I be on that show?" And I said, "You're on."
All right.
We're very excited to have him on. I've seen you at different places, and we're going to find out about you. So the format of the show, we're going to ask a few kind of like getting basic questions that, get those out of the way.
Okay.
And then we're going to ask some questions about you musically.
All right.
Then you're going to perform for us.
Sounds like a great time.
And then after you perform, we're going to come back. We're going to ask you a little bit, some personal questions, not too personal. Ooh. We're not going to ask you like, mother's maiden name or social, nothing like that. It's not that kind of show.
Oh, and the back three digits of my credit card?
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, right?
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. And so I'll find out a little bit more about you, and then you're going to perform for us again.
Oh, boy.
And then we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
So I'm really excited, man.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm really excited. So I've got, the first part, the first kind of 5 questions are kind of the quick info, the who, what, where, when, how, the kind of the boring stuff. Not that you're boring.
Oh,
but
I'm
the
boring.
Questions that aren't as creative because, I want people to at least know who you are before we dig down deep and get into the good stuff.
Okay.
Not that this won't be good. But
only time will tell.
We'll see how many views because right now I don't know if Holden's still leading the view count or Harmony is. Holden still is. Wow,
Oh man, tough competition with Holden.
Well, he's had a couple more weeks in front of Harmony, so
yeah,
I'm expecting yours to blow them both away.
Ah, well.
So no pressure. Setting the bar high, and because you're so tall, it makes it even tougher for you. So.
Of course.
You are tall. Is this okay? Do I need a booster seat with him? Is it okay? Okay. Anyway, so what is your name and how long have you been performing?
All right. Well, hello, Internet world. My name is Nicholas Kemp Bistricki. The long last name is why I go by KB. I am 31 years old, a Libra, like long walks on the beach. No, I'm joking. But how long have I been performing? It's been about, depending on what you count as a performance, either roughly 14 years or roughly like 10 to 12, or not 10 to 12, 20-ish to 18-ish years.
Well, you define what you consider. So if it's 20 years, what were you doing 20 years ago?
So 20 years ago is when I was in middle school. I always loved being in the musicals and singing and being a goofball. And that was starting in for me it was still grade school, 6th grade. I know some schools they start at 6th now for middle school, which to me is weird, but whatever, c'est la vie.
Hey, that's French. You speak French?
Oui. Omelette du fromage. And that's
Do you
it.
like cheese? Is that what that means?
No, cheese omelet. It's from an episode of Dexter's Laboratory.
I can count to 10. And there's a song, Voulou Voulou Fay. I don't know. I can't say it, but you're too young for that. But Ken knows what it is, and he's laughing. Yeah. Ken laughs at me a lot, so I hope that doesn't throw you off.
Oh, that's fine.
That's
fine.
Okay, so that was performing in school as part of the kids' ensemble school and stuff. How about you performing on your own, coming out and?
Yeah, so that started right around the time I got my driver's license.
Assuming 16?
Yes, 16.
Okay. Some people you don't.
Yeah. I know people who are my age who still haven't gotten their driver's license, and you know what? That's fine. Life moves in everyone's pace.
That's right.
But yeah, I'd say it started around when I was 16. I joined my first band. We learned Metallica, Alice in Chains, Nirvana. We had an awesome bass player at the time, and we did Primus, so that was a lot of fun.
Oh. I'm saying that I know Primus at all. I don't. I know the other groups. But
yeah, Primus's big hit was Jerry Was a Race Car Driver. I'm not going to sing the words because this is a family-friendly show. But they are very quirky 3-piece where all 3 of the musicians in the band are absolutely incredibly talented, but they are also just really quirky. They're also known for writing the South Park theme song.
Okay.
So there you go.
There we go.
Carry on.
So
way to bring it back to something I can relate to. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Because if I'm relating to it, the audience, they might not be because I'm kind of goofy myself. But
yeah. But I had a band with them. We spent like a year practicing, getting a set list together.
And what were you doing with them? Guitar, singing, or?
Yeah, so it was between me and my good friend Mike. We would both trade off depending on the song. If it was like a heavier, grungy song, my buddy Mike would sing, and if it was something a little bit more clean, I would sing some tunes. So like, for example, we would do Breed by Nirvana, and he would do all the just the Kurt Cobain style. Yeah, that real gravel. And I would do Today by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay.
And I would sing that. And we worked real hard. We had a venue, and then the band broke up. So, but my first show was gonna be at the same place. There was an awesome little concert venue that my high school sponsored.
Where was this at? Just geographically.
Geographically, we were in the New Lenox area.
Okay. Not too far.
No. Not too far at all. I was at Lincoln Way Central and West. My freshman year was in Central, and that's where I heard about this little music venue.
So those separate schools, or is it a really long school? Because I hear it's a really huge school.
Both schools are huge.
Yeah.
So I was part of the class that got divided. So my freshman year, we were like sardines, and we were all like walking like penguins everywhere down the hallway. And then the next year, it was just a giant open school with no senior class.
I think I remember when that happened, but early, I could do the math, but math
2008, 2009 is when
that sounds
West
right. Yeah.
opens up. I know, because I can just...
Because you were there.
Yeah, I was there. Do you remember where you...
And you can do basic math. 31 minus 15 is...
Yes. Love math. It's my minor. You have to be careful with the one-off things. My ADD is awful, and I'll just go down a tangent. Like, no get out. But anyways, getting back to my first performance, my high schools sponsored a great little youth group / concert venue, and they would have bands come through that were mostly people around my age, usually like just right out of high school or whatever. They would host like the Battle of the Bands where all my friends would go out and play, and I'd go and support them. And I was like, I need to play there. So I grabbed my acoustic guitar, I made a set list of like 5 songs, and they reopened, and I got to play the reopening because I was always there, and I was a big part of the community there, and I was just always there to support the live music, because that's just something that's resonated with me as long as I can remember. Is I always try to go out and support live music whenever I can, wherever I can. Doesn't matter how far. It's just great to hear live music and support people.
That is awesome. Okay, that was question 1.
Yeah.
We can take as long as we need. This is the internet. Who cares how long it goes?
Oh yeah, long form.
Yep. So, what you kind of answered some of these. I'm going to ask him anyway.
That's fine.
Because, am I talking too fast, Ken? Because according to Corinne, I sometimes talk too fast. A little bit. Am I okay?
See, I'll talk a million words a minute. So.
I can too, and that's a horrible thing I'll have. So sometimes I take on the characteristics of who I'm working. Like if you had a British accent, by the time we're done, I'd be talking British along with you.
Oh, what's wrong with that, mate?
Well, because
well, that's Australian. See, now I'm in a completely wrong geographic. There we go. Now I go back into my Ringo.
That's the Liverpool.
Oh yeah, the Liverpoolian. You know. Let's see how long we can keep this going.
Jeez, well.
You see, I love me the Beatles.
Yeah, I love the Beatles too.
Ringo was my favorite Beatle, and everybody looked at me funny.
Does that sound more like Ringo, or does that sound more like George?
Whatever you want to go with. Let's drop this.
Oh man!
Before it goes too crazy.
The worst for me was, I love watching movies. Big movie fan. Sam Elliott. You know Sam Elliott?
I know the name.
He was. Ever see Roadhouse?
All I can think of is Chuck Norris.
You know what? We won't get on that tangent. Just know that I watched like 2 or 3 Sam Elliott movies in a row, and I talked like him for like 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Much to my wife's annoyance.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. My grandmother moved down to Tennessee, and whenever I would spend a week there, I would be coming back and, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? And I would have the drawl and everything for about a couple of months or so.
Yeah. Well, he has a very specific way of speaking that's really cool, and it suits him because he's really cool. But anyway.
Of course.
Question 2. What kind of performer are you? Guitarist, singer, cellist? I don't know. What kind of performer?
Oh, well, primarily I am a guitar player and a singer. I've also played bass in Janis Joplin tribute group.
Oh.
I can really do whatever is needed, but I'm primarily hired to be a guitar player or to be a solo artist and just sing and play my guitar, and that's where I get most of my work.
Well, it's good because I've seen you perform and you do it well. And we're going to see you perform a little bit too.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I guarantee you're going to like this guy. Guarantee
that's a big guarantee, man.
Yeah, well, don't let me down. Don't make me look like a jerk.
Oh, I'm gonna try, but you know what? You're gonna watch the engagement on YouTube, and it's gonna get to that performance, and
we'll see. I've got faith, just like George Michael.
Have faith. Yeah, sorry. See,
this is the kind of tangents we're gonna go on all night, Ken. It's gonna be like this.
All night long, all night.
Except you can sing well. And... Okay. So where do you perform? You perform all over. So like, where are some of the places you perform?
Where haven't I performed?
Here, but we're gonna change that.
Well, no,
a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't played at this studio yet. So I've literally played next door earlier this year. There's a little dive bar called Bedrocks. We played there on St. Patrick's Day weekend of this year. So
really,
yeah.
But that was crazy.
Oh yeah, it was. You know, most of my shows are all over the place. To getting back to the answer to the question, so like we'll play up I'll play up as high as Wisconsin area and down south. Like we've been in Peru. Technically, I've played in Nashville. I went there for a visit to see a band play, as well as visit some of my Nashvilleian music friends. And one of them was playing down, and he was like, "Hey, dude, I need to take a break. Can you play a couple tunes?" So I sat and played down in Nashville, and that was a fun 15 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool.
Get used to that, yeah.
Yes, I do. I did my homework, and I have an answer for one of the questions you're going to ask me, I think, in the second section.
Okay, I want to hear it then.
Yes.
Okay. So what he's referring to is when we bring guests on, I kind of send them kind of the outline of what we're going to talk about, because I want them to be comfortable. And I don't ever want you to walk away and be like, man, if I only would have thought about it, this is a great story. No, I want you to come with those stories.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want your best. And I think we're going to get it.
That's my plan.
Okay. So 2 more in the who, what, where, when, quick info.
All right.
When is your next performance? Keep in mind that today is August 21st. Mm-hmm. And hopefully this will be out next week-ish.
Next week? Well, regardless of when this video goes live, because, sometimes there are snags, you can always find out where I'm playing if you go to www.nickkbmusic.com. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll find my upcoming schedule. I usually have my next 12 to 15 shows up on my website for you guys to see. I know I've got a crazy weekend of music coming up this week, and the week prior, it's hard for me to remember. It's a lot.
It's a good thing you got a website.
Yes, I know. I'm booked pretty much solid until November, so it's trying to keep track of all of those dates.
Is it every week or a couple times a week or?
Usually, at the bare minimum, it'll be like a Saturday, Sunday, or a Friday, Sunday. I know our Saturdays are booked
every week though.
Yeah,
for the most part. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I'm very gracious and I'm very thankful for that. I'd much rather be busy playing, making music, having a time of my life, meeting new people and making new experiences in life than sitting at home in my office playing guitar by myself. Because while that's fun and I can write some music, it's really like, for me, music is, again, always about performing and just sharing that experience with other people.
That's a great attitude. That really is. It's nice. I like positivity, and that's nice.
Oh, life's too short, my friend.
Yeah, and so am I. So I'm not that short, but next to you, I look short. So we need to book some shorter guests, Ken. He can cut this part, right?
Oh, cut it. He'll edit it in post.
Mm-hmm.
Right there was your screenshot. Both of us taking a drink.
Remember to hydrate, kids.
Stay hydrated.
Oh, man. Okay. Because I got an ice cube I had to chew. Okay. And so those are the quick... Okay, let's get into character.
Oh, no. What character do you want?
Oh, man. That's from...
props.
Yeah, we do have
props, yeah.
He's got angel wings back there, too.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, he's Well, he does. He's a photographer. He does all sorts of stuff in here.
Oh yeah,
And
no.
he's okay. So we kind of learned about the quick info, the who, what, where, when, and how. That's I would say that's the boring stuff, but it really wasn't boring because we're talking, we're having fun, we're laughing, we're joking, and yeah. So now I'm going to ask you a few performance-related questions.
Sounds great.
Okay. So what first got you into performing?
That is a fantastic question.
Thank you.
First got me into performing. I looked at that one and I was literally thinking about how to answer that one. And
Like, pass.
it's just like, I guess if I had to pinpoint it to what was that, Inside Out with the core memories.
I never saw that movie.
I haven't either, but I've seen bits and clips of it on Facebook and YouTube whenever I'm doom scrolling.
I should watch it. And they came out with a new one.
Yes,
that
they did.
Somebody wants to watch, and I'm like, I haven't seen the first one yet.
They did. It's supposed to be really good and family
No spoilers.
friendly. Yeah. But
Okay.
so there's core memories, and I guess if I were to think of it, this is going to go way back to when I was in 6th grade. We
Okay.
were doing a musical of some sort. I have no recollection of it. Besides my one big scene, because we were all supposed to be like different radio DJs.
Okay.
Again, this is 6th grade, musical plot, so it's not going to be anything crazy serious. But I remember that my name was DJ Spinnin' Spike, and I had to do a whole spin thing, and it was so everyone was introducing themselves, and we're like a panel of judges. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
It's a little foggy, It's been a while since I was in 6th grade.
20 years, right?
Yeah,
Because you were probably 11 in 6th grade?
yeah, most
Okay.
likely.
I know,
I'm gonna
because
trust your math.
I've got a 6th grader, and he's going to be 11. So-
Well then yeah, we'll just trust the math lines up. But yeah, so I had to say I'm DJ spinning, and then I did an awful breakdance spiral thing on the stage, and then stood up and went Spike. And I guess I got a couple chuckles, and there we go. Down
Star
that
is
rabbit
born.
hole. Yeah, a star is born.
Nice. Well, that's for you entertaining the crowd. How about what got you into performing? Like when you were 16 is when you said you started with the band?
Yeah, I mean,
So how'd you go from, spinning to the delight of the people to actually rocking out to Primus and Nirvana and I know how to say it.
So, music has always been a big escape for me. Especially around my teenage years, I was going through something that I wish that a lot of teenagers don't have to deal with.
You were too popular?
No, some serious life stuff.
We don't have to talk about anything you don't want to talk about. This is all.
Yeah, I know, but you know what though? For that one person who might be going through this, it's important to share it. So my brother, my younger brother at the time, was going in and out of the hospital with a rare disease, and music was sort of my savior. It kept me happy. It kept me joyful. It just kept me grounded and, just got my mind off of things. So it just became a must. I just kept learning. I kept playing, and it got me through some very difficult moments that, unfortunately my brother passed when I was 16. So music was just always an escape for me to go out and bring some joy to the world. So I guess that would be why I perform.
Okay, that's fair. You okay? We were laughing 1 second. Now we kind of brought the mood down.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a serious thing, and
It is,
yeah.
and I want to make sure you're okay.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. If it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to cry, and it's okay to let these emotions out and to share your story, because it might help somebody out. So.
That's absolutely true. I'm not afraid to cry. Normally it's when I hurt myself, but I'm working on it. This is
Me
growth.
too.
It's,
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, that's, I guess, would be the main reason why I perform, is I just want to go out and do what I love to do.
It's like a therapy, music therapy.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Okay, so what is your favorite performance memory?
All right. So, you know how everybody has their the two truths and a lie thing?
Yes.
So, I will give this to you guys, the audience. So, 2 truths, 1 lie. So, I have brown hair. I have blue eyes. Don't look. Don't peek yet. Don't peek. And Buddy Guy has opened for me in his own club.
I know what I would guess. So I'm guessing the lie, correct?
Yeah, I guess the lie.
Okay.
Now you can look me in the eyes.
I'm gonna say it's your eye color.
It is my eye color.
And I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I was just gonna.
Yes.
Because that Buddy Guy thing sounds too awesome for it not to be true, and too specific.
Yes.
For it to be not to be true.
But, you know, you tell that to somebody, and they'll be like, oh, whatever, you know, like, yeah, right. So the story behind that.
And he does have brown hair.
I do have brown
hair. Although if my wife was over, or Corinne was over here, she'd be like, well, it's more of this kind of shit. It's brown.
I am color impaired. So, like, I can see colors, but, like, you put the polka dot stuff and with the numbers in it, and you can't see it. And then, like, in, like, 2014, there was a meme going around where people were making colorblind memes where they would put the picture inside those dots, and I was so frustrated for about a month. And then one day I asked my then-to-be wife, I'm like, what is in this picture? It's like, it's the shocked Pikachu face, the one that's like, and I'm like, ah! And I felt so called out.
I feel your pain because, like, even before that, because I'm old, it used to be the Magic Eye posters. It's like, oh, a sailboat. I can't see the sailboat. But there's, yeah. Anyway. Mall rats.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's all good. But to explain that story, because
Buddy Guy. I'm trying to remember what we're talking about.
Talking about Buddy Guy
cool.
opening
Buddy Guy.
for us at his club. It's a little facetious, but it's
he opened the door for you?
ultimately true. Not quite. So at the time, I was in a band with some other people. We were like a bluesy rock kind of a group.
Okay.
And the other guitar player in the band stocked at a grocery store that Buddy Guy would go to shop to out in the Tinley Park area. And he met him and he ran into him, and we are huge blues fans, so we knew who Buddy Guy was. And he was like, hi, Mr. Buddy Guy, I love your music, blah, blah, blah. I play guitar, we play blues, we love what you do. And he was really cool for my friend, and he said, bring your buddies down to my bar on this day, and I'll pull you guys up and you guys can play. So
awesome.
It was really cool. So we showed up that day. Our guitar player forgot his guitar strap in his case, so he was freaking out because he was all flustered. But we got in, we walked up to the front door, and the big bouncer's like, you guys aren't 21. And we're like, no, sir, but Buddy Guy said we could show up. And he's
Friend's
like,
a buddy.
And he's like, let me go check. And so he went and checked, and Buddy stayed true to his word. He said, yes, I did say that this young gentleman could bring a couple of his friends to play at the jam tonight. And we're like, cool. And he's like, all right. So then this is what I find hysterical. So we're all underage. He took us upstairs to another area, to a bar that was fully loaded and unsupervised. And they're like, you guys stay up here until your names are called and don't come down at all. And we're like, okay. And so we're sitting there and we hear the house band and they start playing and they're doing all their things and it sounds awesome. And then all of a sudden we hear Buddy Guy playing guitar and we hear him singing. And we're like, is that Buddy Guy playing now all of a sudden? We're like,
but you can't go down to watch because you
we snuck down the stairwell. It was like a scene out of a movie. We're all like peeking our heads out and we're just like in awe and we're seeing him play. And if you've never seen Buddy Guy live
in person, right?
Live in person, please go out and see him at least once. You know, he's one of the last few alive blues legends.
Great bluesman, yeah.
And he puts on one amazing show. Like, I've seen him 3 times, and I was just floored the whole time watching him. So, that's a plug for Buddy Guy. And he's a good person, obviously, because he let a whole bunch of kids who were underage into his bar. And I really hope this doesn't give Buddy Guy any complications.
Well, you weren't
for
drinking or nothing.
No, we didn't drink anything. We were very honest, and we didn't do anything. But anyway, so we watched him play at his bar. And it was outstanding. It was just like mind-blowing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then they said, all right, and that's the end of the house band's opening set. Now to the stage, can we get Nick? and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And we're just like, oh, God, we have to follow Buddy Guy. And we went up, and I was nervous because I was singing and playing, and that was when I was trying to be a little bit more confident as a singer and a player in doing that. And I'm just like, oh, my God, I have to follow Buddy Guy. It was terrifying, but we did it, and we had a good time, and yeah. That is the coolest thing, though. Like, that's my story. That's my, oh, yeah, I remember Buddy Guy. I opened up for him, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, who probably appreciated it as well, the people that were going to follow you, because they didn't have to follow Buddy Guy. They just had to follow you. And so...
You are so right.
So it's, you know...
No one wants to follow Buddy Guy.
Silver linings. So, yeah, you made some other people very happy. So you did your part for the... For
the greater good.
For the fellowship of musicians.
The greater good.
Yep.
What was that? Hot Fuzz.
I haven't seen Hot Fuzz. Have I seen Hot Fuzz?
It's one of those British B movies.
Oh, yeah, it's Simon Pegg.
Yeah, it's hysterical.
The other guy, Nick something.
Yeah, there's an ongoing joke where it's like, for the greater good. It's hysterical.
That's the one I haven't seen. Shaun of the Dead. I haven't seen Hot Fuzz. I saw the other one, the At World's End or something. Or
okay.
The alien thing with the...
I don't know.
I'm behind on some of my movies.
It's all right. Me too. I'm not a big movie guy.
I love movies, though. And earlier, when I was like, let's get in a character, it's from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, of course.
When they're going ready, they're doing their, like, with cheese, and and they're like...
I've only seen Pulp Fiction, like, twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've seen it, like, 50 times.
Well, it makes sense. It's a movie you're supposed to see, like, more than once.
Well, I'm a big fan, so... Okay. So what's the biggest challenge you have when performing?
Biggest challenge? I have an answer for this one. And it's something I still struggle to this day.
Squirrel. No, I'm sorry.
Where? No. Besides my ADD running wild, and if I have to have a set list. If I don't have a set list, the ADD takes over, and you don't know what I'm gonna play. I know everything from ABBA's Dancing Queen to Frank Zappa, and I'm not gonna say the titles of Frank Zappa songs.
Oh, we can guess, I'm sure.
You know, or I guess you could just say Yellow Snow. Like,
yeah.
That one's fine, you know. Don't watch out where the Huskies go, and don't you eat that yellow snow.
Don't eat that yellow snow.
So, and I listen to like every genre, like literally anything. If it has a good melody, it's got a good rhythm, I'm eating it up. So it can be Tupac and Changes, or it could be, you know, ZZ Top or whatever. It's,
country.
Oh yeah.
Western.
Country and Western. We got both kinds.
Nice.
I will refrain from saying my favorite Blues Brother one line.
Is it because they'd have to bleep it?
Yes. It brings light to a party of people that are the scum of the earth.
Ah, I say that line too.
Yes.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And
let's not bring awareness to that policy.
We don't bring politics, religion, anything.
Yeah,
You know, this is a fun time. We're having fun, and
exactly. But you know exactly the line I'm talking about, and then they drive the car over the bridge.
Yep, yep. And Henry Gibson ends up in the water, and
oh yeah,
I will get that.
Oh yeah.
I've been binge watching Boston Legal.
Okay.
And Henry Gibson shows up as a judge from time to time.
Okay.
I'm like, Anyway, so what's the biggest challenge you have when performing and answering questions?
The main thing is what I'm doing right now is looking at the people and engaging with them while they're playing. I have been a notorious eyes closed guitar solo guy for my entire life. And that in my face. If I watch clips of me playing and I have to I feel like I need to just have it be here, because you'll just see like, you got your thumbnail? But when I'm singing, I've got a mic in front of my face, so that doesn't matter.
Sunglasses. They'll never see you with your eyes closed. Mm-hmm. They're dark enough.
Yes. I should invest in a pair of prescription sunglasses. These transition lenses are nice, but they don't get super dark.
That was good. The Ray-Bans.
That's what I have. I had a
look because I couldn't think of it. I'm like, I'm wearing them. These are the Blues Brother ones with the frames and the.
Gotcha. Yeah. I have the Ray-Bans with the Ray-Bans lenses, and they're not as nice as the ones that I got from the generic Target that I got.
We were paying for the name.
Yeah, but whatever, that helps definitely a little bit. But you know when you're in the crowd and you look at somebody and they look back at you, like that, like it's like you can tell, like you're focused in on them. And
so is the challenge you're focused too much on them, or you're not focusing enough on them?
I struggle with looking at people and looking up. I've always been like a kind of a hunched in.
But you might also be into it too, what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
getting yourself lost in the music. And...
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that also can come back. Here I am going all psychologist. That might be my escapism in music and all that stuff.
Did you major in psychology? You said you minored in math.
I minored in math and I majored in music education.
That tracks.
Yes.
Where'd you go to? You want to plug your alma mater?
Huh?
Where'd you go to college?
I only graduated. Well, not only. I graduated Joliet Junior College with an Associates of Arts, and with my major in music education and a minor in math education.
Nice. They're just down the street from us.
Yes, they are.
Just a few miles.
It's a fantastic place, and anybody who's looking to get into college, if you are in the Illinois area and you are close enough to Joliet. Joliet Junior College is an absolutely amazing resource, especially for music majors.
I've heard good things about them.
It is amazing what they have to offer, and I'm not paid by Joliet Junior College to say that.
No, you're probably still paying them. But,
no, I'm actually
they're probably affordable compared to some places.
I got out with my associates debt free.
Nice.
I am very fortunate to have had a grandma when my mom was like, I'm having a baby. She started a savings account for me. So I'm very fortunate to say that I got out of junior college debt-free, and I am so thankful for that to this day.
That is awesome. That's the way to go. Mm-hmm. That's the way to go.
Yes. But anyways, getting back to it, I struggle at looking at people when I play, and just like, and I feel like that's like the most important thing is when you're like at a show and you're looking at the person and that you get that one moment of where you make eye contact, and like for the fam, like I've been there. I was watching Eric Johnson play at the House of Blues when I was like 17 or 18, and I was getting good at guitar, so I of course illegally watched his instructional DVDs on YouTube and figured out all of his tricks and stuff for the shred-tastic stuff that I used to do.
Wait, if it's on YouTube, how is it illegal?
Well, I mean, you illegally upload it.
Did you
No. Somebody else did on YouTube.
But but you're not the... If it's on YouTube, we're fine. We love YouTube.
Yes, we do love YouTube. But, let me take a sip.
If you're going to sip, I'm going to sip. Because it's going to be awkward if we both took alternating sips like every 30 seconds.
There's your thumbnail.
Did you put your pinky up, though?
Oh, I did. When in doubt, pinky out. You got it. SpongeBob is my Bible. One of my coworkers would say that Simpsons is his Bible, and SpongeBob is my Bible. But getting back to it, I was watching Eric Johnson, and there was a brief moment where he was shredding away, and he's also like me, where he like just looks down at his guitar, but he kind of looked up, and I looked up at him, and I was just watching what he was doing, and there was just like brief moment of eye contact, and I'm just like, oh my God, we were looking at each other, and it was just the coolest thing. And then he's back playing mind-blowing pentatonic licks. That's from a Paul Gilbert instructional DVD that I watched on YouTube.
Nice.
Paul Gilbert's one of my favorite musicians of all time. He is primarily a guitar player. He's most known for being the guitar player of Mr. Big. Their big hit was I'm the one that wants to be with you.
Oh, yeah.
Deep inside I know you feel it too. Whatever. Waiting on the line for something new, all for just the chance to be with you. That's
a great song.
It is a great song. It's so they were like that band. What's the other one who wrote More Than Words?
Extreme.
Thank you. It was like Extreme, where they were like a really heavy metal band. Then they wrote an acoustic pop song, and it blew up, and they became huge.
That was in the mid-'90s, early in the mid-'90s, because I think we had that at one of our homecomings. Because I graduated class of '94.
I was born in '93. I was 1 year old. Sorry.
Holden was born in 2013, so...
Whew, I was out of high school. See, you can dish it back to me, and I like that.
We're not going to ask Ken when he was born, even though I know. Mm-hmm. We talked about this last episode.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say something else about that with what you were saying. Oh, and this is something I tell the kid a lot too. People, when you perform, people probably aren't always going to remember what you performed or what you sang, but they're always going to remember how you made them feel during that performance.
Definitely.
And that's what's going to get them coming back over and over and over. And
oh, totally.
And so I completely get what you're saying with you make that connection, you make them feel part of the show, you make them feel special, and
oh yeah. So. That is 100% true. Holden, you should listen to your dad. I know no kid wants to hear it from their parent or from somebody else standing next to their parent. Like, you should listen to your dad. They know what they're talking about.
Well, you should listen to Nick, because he's, like, really good.
I'm okay.
And don't rob banks.
Watch episode 1, although that means that's going to boost Holden's numbers, which makes my job more difficult.
I know.
So.
Well, it's the funniest thing. There's a whole thing, for episode 1.
Or was it episode 1 or was it Harmony?
Harmony brought it back.
Oh, yeah.
And she was just like giving him she's like, don't rob banks, Holden. You're only 10. Make good choices.
Yeah. And I'm going to go off of that, of how I make you feel. This is, actually, no, you're going to ask me a question later, and I'll use that story for later.
Prepared. I love it.
Hey, it's like everything in life. I like to show up prepared, ready to go, but also be relaxed and have a good time.
Yeah, well, this is why I like sending things out in advance so that people can, think about it and know what you want to do. And we don't have to stick to this, but,
So that way I'm not just going,
yes.
I like the guitar because...
Yep. Oh, man. Question 4 in this section. We are good on time. Okay. Right, Ken? Yeah, Ken's good. The only time it's ever a problem is Tasty or Frosty Tips next door closes at 9:30.
So we need to be done by 9:30.
Well, or Holden's just going to leave and go get ice cream at like 9:25 if fair. We're not done.
That's fair.
So that's like how we get him to keep quiet so he gets ice cream on these nights.
Oh, we're only at 4 of 7, folks.
Well, that's in the first half. So we still got a whole nother...
Oh, I almost got freaked out because I forgot to switch
that's a
this.
Cool watch.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it too.
I got this on my trip to Alaska.
Did you perform there?
No, I was on a cruise. It was amazing.
Could borrow somebody's guitar and just be like, I performed in Alaska.
It was a Disney cruise, so I knew not to ask.
Oh, yeah.
They are strict, but fun. But yeah, and I have it set an hour ahead of time for when we were in Nashville.
Nashville.
Not Nashville. I was in Philadelphia for a wedding a few weeks ago, and that's the last time I wore this.
So it's still
set an hour ahead, but the bottom one is always at home time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is a cool little watch. It is a Philip Stein watch, and it's supposed to add micro vibrations or whatever throughout your body or whatever to help you feel more relaxed and comfortable and it's supposed to help you sleep at night. And at first I thought it was a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, but then I wore it on the cruise, and the first few nights I was having a rough time falling asleep with the waves walking back and forth.
Oh yeah, I get seasick. Yeah.
And it might have been that I got used to it or whatever, but I put this on and man, I had a good night's sleep.
Nice.
And whenever I do wear it, I have a good night's sleep. So.
Nice. I just got a Galaxy.
And that's fine. Yeah, I normally wear a Fitbit, but that just doesn't look very nice.
I had my Fitbit on earlier. In the last episode I wore it, I'm like, you look kind of goofy with the Fitbit.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'll put on my my other watch.
For the Performers podcast, we bust out the fine pieces.
We're all about class here at Performer Chat.
Not sponsored by Philip Stein or
Samsung.
Yet. You never know.
Okay, question.
We are open to.
That's why I said yet.
That's true. Any wants to sponsor it, we'll do it. Absolutely. And Ken is great at shooting commercials. If you need a business that needs a commercial, JGP Designs, ask for Ken.
Do it. This is an amazing studio setup.
That's pretty cool. He does have all the fun toys too. You haven't really looked around. He's got some fun stuff here too.
Oh, my ADD has been looking at everything. I noticed all the hats before you guys even brought it up.
Did you notice Batman over there?
See, I'm not looking that way. Oh yeah, there's 2.
Oh yeah, he's got the fun stuff here.
Oh yeah. along with Super 55 Shure and a whole bunch of other fancy mics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's an SM7B and there's a Rode mic.
Hey, look at you.
I am a gear encyclopedia.
I'm noticing that. Nice.
Music is an obsession. Like,
Nice.
It all aspects of it, to a degree that makes some people uncomfortable.
Not us. We appreciate it.
All right.
Okay. So what is your creative process, especially when you're going to write? Because you perform covers, because everyone performs covers, but you also perform a lot of originals. You write your own material. So what is
Yes.
your creative process?
That is an excellent question. And, I've asked that to all of my guitar heroes and all of my songwriting heroes, and we all have the same thing, where it's just you pick up the guitar and just the song. For me, if the song doesn't come to me naturally, it's usually, and I'm trying to force it, it's not going to turn out too well.
Sure.
So, like, there'll just be days where I'll just be sitting and it's like the mood, and maybe I had my, maybe I was feeling a little spicy and got a soda instead of a water to drink and had a little bit of energy and the mood was feeling right, and I would just write a song. So,
Just got the soda. Oh, no.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, I have a one-liner that I need to write a full song to still in my head. I have it on my phone because if I don't write it down, then it's gone to the universe.
Well, that's good. So when you get struck with the creative thoughts, you just use your phone to.
Yeah, I mean, I do a combination of writing I'll type my lyrics out. I need to get a notebook and write it down, but everything's
old
backed
school.
up.
Digital or analog.
Yeah, everything's to the cloud, man. Soon we're gonna. I'm gonna stop. Soon we're gonna be able to or I can't even think of it. Download our consciousness to the cloud,
That was
man.
a TV show.
I'm
Upload
sure
on Amazon.
I'm sure it was, and it was probably a science fiction horror movie.
I don't think it was horror. It was kind of. I don't remember. It was fun. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I type it out. I'll put chord charts to it, and then I always have to make sure I get a video of me playing it, so that way I can see the chord inversions I'm doing, and I can hear the melody. Because it's happened with a few songs that I've written where I listen to the video and then I listen to what I sang at and sometimes like two different video clips of me playing it, and I'm like, oh, I altered it already a little bit, and it's like, okay, I like the original one. The spark sounded better than what I did the second time. So it's just a matter of writing it down, recording it right then and there. And I for me, it's got to be video. Audio is cool, but I'm gonna toot my own horn. Toot toot. I'm a good guitar player.
Yeah, you are.
So some of my songs use funky chord voicings. And if I don't remember how to play those chord voicings, it becomes me sitting at myself, sitting at my DAW, or digital audio workstation, for those of you who don't know, yelling at myself, going, why did I write this part? And it happened once. I had a friend over and we were listening to tracks, and they were listening to this one song that I need to finish. Now I'm thinking about it. And it has this cool part where I'm playing these cool chords and these natural harmonics and stuff. And one of my wife's bosses, she has perfect pitch, and she's an amazing piano player. She she runs a music studio in Oswego called Fox River Academy of Music. I'm not being paid to say that.
Fox River Academy of Music, Oswego.
They are amazing people. It's a husband and wife duo that run that place, and they are the most nice, kind-hearted people. So I would love to promote their business.
Absolutely.
And it conveniently helps. It's also convenient that I just started working there. I somehow found time to start teaching
Between
at their
gigs.
studio. Saturday mornings. Somehow they convinced me. They've been asking me for a few years. They're great people, and I'm just busy, and I didn't want to commit to something and then have a kid have kids start taking lessons with me, get attached, and then, oh, sorry, I can't do this anymore. I'm going crazy.
Yeah, no, I hear that. The one addendum to the creative process question.
Yes.
Because you're a math person as well.
Yes.
So I've always found a correlation between musicians and mathematicians, and being a good mathematician kind of helps give you insights into I don't know if it's just the way the chords are, or the way you see patterns, or the way they just make sense. I've known some mathematicians that are brilliant musicians, and it just seems like
it's a very interesting correlation between the two. I mean, you could take it from the theoretical aspect that somebody is technically very good because they're familiar with fractions. Because, you know, like you have your basic 4/4 time signature. Well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. What's that beat? Oh, it's a quarter note, 1/4. Oh, well, I can make that relationship from 1/4 to equaling 4/4 because you can get that sort of way that music notation from the Western theory, you know, all the old English dudes who had to play and write music specifically for secular reasonings.
Corinne knows all about that. She was a music.
Yeah, I could go down the rabbit hole with that, and
you guys should chat later.
Yes,
you guys will nerd out together.
Yeah, you know the churchification of music theory is interesting, and I really hope. My hope is that within the next 30, 40 years, and it's starting to happen, which is cool, that they start incorporating like the Indian, I forget the rhythmic displacement. It's a spiral, as well as like microtonal music. Some of that music I just saw a few days ago as I was scrolling through my social media. Follow me at Nick KB Music on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. But I was scrolling through and I found a microtonal organ, which basically cuts each note in half. The
Really?
pitch, yeah. But it allowed for some of the most beautiful chord transitions, and it just sounded beautiful. Because when most people think microtonal, they'll think Yoko Ono going, and it's awful. Like nobody wants to hear Yoko Ono.
Ken's laughing because he remembers Yoko Ono in her prime.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Have you ever seen the video of her singing "Firework" by Katy Perry?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's something to look up.
I will.
That's something to do after you're done watching the Player Chat podcast here on YouTube. Performer Chat podcast. So close.
Well, you did say that names were something that you have to...
Yeah, the PPC, you know?
PCP.
Oh, PCP.
No, I'm like...
Yeah, that's a great moniker for the show.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay.
Edit that in post, Ken.
Anyways, yeah.
I don't know why Holden's laughing. He's laughing because Ken's laughing.
Yeah. We made Ken... Oh, he's crying. He's tearing up.
Well, he's in touch with his emotions. He's not afraid to cry.
No, and there... Yeah. But anyways, microtonal music and stuff like that is becoming... Thanks to the internet, everything has become so much easily obtainable to find.
Yes.
And that's the great thing and the bad thing with the internet. You have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, that's
With the
true.
great, there's a great outlet for everybody to go off and spread their vision and do everything. But everybody who has connection to the internet
You can go out there and
do
put
it.
on whatever stuff.
there's so much content every day being put out,
Like this podcast.
like this podcast. Make sure to hit the like button down below
And subscribe.
and subscribe. It's permanently put into our DNA.
Well, Holden watches tons of YouTubes, and so he's always... Okay.
This episode is brought to you by Raid Chat. No,
Yeah, right. Okay, so what kind of music do you enjoy?
Well, I kind of talked about that
You did.
already. I'll listen to just about anything.
Anything?
Literally, I'll listen to just about anything. And as I said, if it's got a good melody and it's got a good rhythm to it, I'll most likely enjoy it. You know, it's
Classical
been.
music?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yodeling?
Huh?
Yodeling?
I mean, does Hocus Pocus by Focus count as yodeling?
I've never heard that song.
Oh, that's a great '70s rock band. It's got a yodel part in it.
Okay.
It's very cool. It's like this all instrumental song, and it's very chaotic and it's cool. And they get to this big climax, and it's just yodeling. It's like and the guy's
never heard that.
playing piano and harmonizing to it, and it's ridiculous. So Hocus Pocus by Focus.
We're going to check that out.
You
Corinne,
sh-
let's write that one down. We'll look it up for the show.
Oh yeah, You can just splice that in, you know. He'll do it in post.
I'm trying to think of obscure music that you would. I'm calling you out on it. Corinne, what else? What's obscure, Corinne? That Americana.
Americana, I wouldn't call that obscure music.
Well, no, but she knows what I'm talking about.
I mean, like if we're gonna, it's like
doo-wop.
Oh yeah, doo-wop's great, you know. Like I'm trying to think of stuff, but yeah, I'll listen to anything. I mean, when I'm teaching kids, I'll literally show people. It's like the second or third lesson I'll do is once they've learned like 4 basic chords. I'm like, I'll show you. Okay, you can take these chords and you can make them however you want to. And one of those chord progressions I call is the doo-wop changes.
Okay.
Which is like your Earth Angel, 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5. And you take that chord progression. I'm using the Nashville number system out there. And it's a little mini lesson here for those who are still with us. Basically,
pay attention.
You take your major scale. You don't worry about any of the do, re, mi. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's your Nashville number system as a grossly oversimplified way of explaining it. But that's the core concept behind it. So you take the chord that comes from that scale, and then you get your numbers. It's a great way to communicate with other musicians. Like the most common one, you say, hey, we're going to do a blues. It's just a 1, 4, 5, and we're going to start on the 5 chord. And a blues musician will go, okay, yeah. And they might not know any music theory at all, but they know, oh, okay, I know exactly what we're doing.
I'm smiling because we use the same kind of technique in barbershop. I'm a barbershopper.
Okay.
Close harmony singer. Corinne is a Sweet Adeline barbershop close harmony singer. And Holden is a barbershopper close harmony singer. Okay. And so we use that same kind of, let's do the scale. Then, okay, leads, you're on the 3. Basses, you're on the tenors, you're there. Baritones there. And let's do the chord. And
yeah. That explains how come he's such a good harmonizer. He gets it from mom and dad.
Mom, mostly. She's a much better harmonizer than I sing bass.
Mom sing tenor.
That's right. I like Johnny Cash. Love Johnny Cash.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't that the Carter family though?
That did that one? Well, I've always heard the Johnny Cash doing it. Mm-hmm. But it probably was the Carter family at some point.
Yeah.
But
that's somebody who I know a lot about. I had a whole Johnny Cash era.
Oh, me
growing
too.
Up. It was around the time that Walk the Line movie came out, and like I'd always listened to his music. Like but when I saw that movie and I saw his life and all that he did and all that he went through, I've listened to almost every Johnny Cash song, and there was a period of time where I had almost all of them in my brain. Like I'm literally hearing Get Rhythm in my head. A little shoe boy who never did slow down, but he's got the dirtiest job in town. And it's like, people don't know that song, but they should. It's a good song.
What about the Johnny Cash Bob Dylan sessions?
Oh my God! Now I'm going back a ways.
One of my favorite Johnny Cash songs. Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of stuff I like, but it's "You're My Sunshine."
Oh yeah.
With Johnny and Bob, and they're the other night. Then you.
Yeah. You don't want to hear my Bob Dylan impersonation.
No. Oh yeah.
Well, you
a girl from North Country. Yeah. With yeah.
Yeah. No, it's what I do to make my wife, the light of my life. There we go. I also almost said light. But my wife, I'll make her laugh on road trips, and we'll hear a song, and I'll do my Bob Dylan impersonation. So it's like, can you find you gives they're undeniable. I don't remember the words, and then I'd say a swear word, and then the government. And the taxman says, yeah. This is the stuff that you don't want on your podcast.
No, that's true. Is my Dylan that bad, Corinne? I'm trying to think about it ain't me, babe.
Yeah.
Nah. Anyway. Mm-hmm. But you can actually sing better. I'm not that good a singer. I'm fine in a chorus. You put me in my barbershop chorus, and I do my part, and I look fine. But I was a percussionist.
Hey, that's fine. So, there's nothing wrong with that. You can keep rhythm.
I can. So, what? This is very distracting, Ken. Every time you start crying, laughing and crying, we're trying to do a serious thing here, Ken.
This is a serious.
Okay, so what is your favorite song to perform and why?
Now, see, I saw that question, and again, I was like, depends on the day. I guess, though, if I had to pick, as of today, right now, I have been loving playing American Girl by Tom Petty. That one's great. It seems it's my open mic to do because it seems like everybody knows that song. Everybody wants to go, make it last all night. And people seem to dig it and enjoy it, and I make a buffoon of myself, and I start playing upside down during the little break towards the end of the song. And when I play it acoustically, I don't play the ripping, awesome guitar solo done by, oh my gosh, Mike Campbell. There we go. Done by Mike Campbell. When I play with one of the bands I'm in, which is called the Two Beer Tommy Band, I do the ripping guitar solo and do all that fun stuff. When you asked about favorite performance memory, that was another one. Last year we played the Bolingbrook Performing Arts Center stage, and that was just an experience. And that song in particular, they have a giant stage, and you can walk up, and I have my wireless unit, so I walked up to the stage, and we're playing that song. We're getting right before the guitar solo, so I'm center stage on this little metal beam that's about, 2 people could stand uncomfortably side by side. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to play this 2-minute long guitar solo and rock out and just have the time of my life. And just, I watched the video back, and it's just like me, and there's just spotlight. It's like, oh, yeah! And that's always fun.
Is that on your YouTube channel?
It's not, because the city of Bolingbrook, well, I can't say that, because I think somebody else took that footage and then ran away with it, which is unfortunate. I would love to have that on my YouTube channel, and I think the video footage is no longer on Bolingbrook's website, because I used to be able to say just go there and check it out. But it was cool. It was really cool. It was my one moment. It's if you go to my website, I think it's you'll see a picture of me with this rad looking guitar on stage.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was from that gig. It was one of my highlights of 2023 last year.
That's awesome. I love that you said that song too, because I've been I've been asking him to do that. He won't perform it on acoustic. Dad, I can only do it on electric. It's not going to sound good. I'm like, there are people, friends of ours, Coop. If you ever see Coop out there, Coop does it.
Oh yeah, I love Coop.
We all love Coop. You do it. I'm like, you can do it on acoustic, and it's awesome. The crowd loves it. It's a great song. And no.
Hey, sometimes you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
No, we can shove them in though.
No, I wouldn't do that. That just leads to a drowned horse.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
No, nobody wants that.
Yeah. But that's awesome. That sounds like an awesome memory. And then, final question in this segment is, what is your dream performance?
My dream performance. That's another one that was. I mean, I'm so blessed with the opportunities that I've had so far in my life. I've played some really cool stages. I've played Reggie's Rock Club. I've played the Bonham Lounge. I've played. I did manage once to play at the House of Blues. I stole my good friend and fellow musician. His name is Big Dog Mercer. Check him out. My wife and I went to go see him on our anniversary, and I had prearranged that the band were going to play our wedding song, and I got up and sang that for her. So I've got to play the bar stage of House of Blues. Haven't made it to the big stage there yet. But I'm always striving for bigger and better things. But if I were to pick one show to sell out, and it's probably because I just was there and I saw one of my favorite bands play my 2 favorite albums in their entirety, a sold out show at Wrigley Field would be really cool.
Really?
And I would mandate it that the parking was only $20, because I had to pay $150 to park outside Wrigley. I would take a pay cut and just give it free parking. I'll buy every single parking spot, and this is going to come back to bite me in the butt.
Yeah, but if you're that famous, you're playing Wrigley like that, who cares?
Yeah.
You'd be like, look, free parking for everybody.
Yeah, I would love to do that. And if I were to ever get to that level of success, I'd be beside myself. I would just be incredibly thankful for it, because it wouldn't be for people like you guys watching and the people who support, because that's all it is.
That's awesome. And I like this question a lot because people aren't always what I'd expect, because I might think, United Center sold out, or, Madison Square Garden.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, I didn't want to say...
Hollywood Bowl. Dude, it's your dream performance.
Yeah.
So dream.
Yeah, no, Wrigley would definitely be one. I mean, like,
that would be very cool.
There's also the inner Stevie Ray Vaughan wannabe in me that would say Carnegie Hall.
Yes.
And I'd rip some blues and do all of that, and, But that are, like, the Austin City Limits stage. Because, like, I've seen a lot of amazing concert footages. Again, I've said Eric Johnson's name already. If you are not a person who likes instrumental music, but you want to hear, in my opinion, the best ever recorded instrumental guitar moment of all time, in my opinion.
That's a bold statement.
It is a bold statement, but it is, for me, that's the mountaintop. Like, that's the promised land. Like, you are above the mountaintop. You are floating above it. It is just pure perfection. It is Eric Johnson playing live in his song Cliffs of Dover. And it's got this beautiful, clean intro that's not like the record, because the record just starts with a punch to the face of, like, loud electric guitar. And it's got a beautiful, clean intro. And then he starts ripping it up. And then he goes into the actual song. And for me, that's just perfection. It's
I assume I could find that on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you can find that on YouTube. You can buy the album that it's off of. It is my favorite moment in music of all time, at least for instrumental guitar playing.
Awesome.
Honestly, probably of all time too. It's just so good. Like, it just, whenever I hear that recording, I just stop what I'm doing. Like, if I'm scrolling and all of a sudden that clip comes on and it's the whole thing, I'm like, I'm gonna sit here.
Wife comes up to you, honey.
Yeah, no, it's like, you don't talk. Well, no, if
she
my
probably
wife
knows better at this point.
No, if my
dang it, he just started listening to that song.
No, if my wife talked to me, I would put the video down. I love my wife a little bit more than I do that one clip of Eric Johnson that I can pause and start later.
You want to give a shout out to your lovely wife?
Yes, I love you, dear. If you've managed to watch this far into it without me knowing somehow or me forcing you into it, I applaud you, and you are amazing, and thank you for supporting me always.
And what's her name?
Her name is Sydney, with a C. It's like Australia, but with a C. Sydney.
Nice.
Yes. Everybody gets her. She's like, Sydney with a C, and they go, okay, Cindy, and it's like, no, like Australia, but with a C, and then they'll spell it with an S, and it's just, it's the...
You can't win.
No, you can't win.
Okay. Well, at this point is our first performance break.
All right.
So we're gonna ask you, please, to go to the performance area of the podcast.
All right.
You've got a few songs.
Oh, I've got a couple.
You got 2 to 3, whatever you want to do.
All right, that sounds great.
And what are you gonna play for us? Just originals, covers? Keep us in suspense.
Ooh. I mean, I like suspense.
We can do it.
I like suspense, but I know I'm definitely going to be playing a couple of original musics, and I'm going to do a quick plug here before we lose all engagement, because they're going to hear me sing and they're going to click off the video.
No, they're not.
Nah. But starting next week, I'm going to be recording a small album or EP, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to be hearing some of that music right now.
That's awesome. Are you on Spotify already, or any of those stores or anything?
Nothing is out yet on Spotify.
This is your first...
Well, that's not technically true. I have an old band that has their stuff still up.
That's the band. I'm talking about Nick KB.
Yeah. And it might not even be under Nick KB. I think I'm going to be going for the whatever. I'm just going to be calling it Nick and the Kaboom.
So it's you and a band?
Yeah, it's going to be a full band.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. I like, I love like the solo acoustic thing, but for me, if I want to listen to something on like an album, I want a full band, and that's just me. And I know an amazing drummer, and I know an amazing bass player, and I probably should reach out to him to play bass, but I'm probably going to be stubborn and play the bass parts. But
you're one of those that wants to play every part yourself?
Yeah,
so I know.
I wouldn't say I want to, but I can. And then there's just that part of me. It's like, well, if I can do it, then I should do it. And then that's just me. I guess it's like Prince. He did everything.
There's a 10-year-old sitting on the couch over there that would 100% agree with you when he did it all himself as well. And
yeah, Yeah, I listened to that, the Sampler EP. I like the name. I like the name.
Ha! Holden did not like the name.
Well, you know what? No cap. It is mid.
But it's a sampler because we're going to be going to the studio in a few months and work on his first album.
Okay.
And so we didn't want to use up the album name for this. It was a sampler to get him out there.
Yeah. It did its job. It's a good title.
Thank you.
Much to Holden's disdain.
Thank you.
Just stare.
Oh, he's busy watching videos, but
That's fine.
Great, you plugged that. Let's go. Let's listen. I'm excited.
All right. Well, I am excited to play for everybody.
I'm gonna sit here. You're gonna go up there, and then Ken, how are we handling the applause? Are we gonna? You want us to applause between song? Do you want us to?
Yeah, we can applause, and I'll add in applause.
Okay. We've had some awkwardness with harmony because we weren't sure.
Nobody knew. Should we applaud? Should we?
And she's like, done playing, and like crickets. It's like, was it that bad? No, we're gonna add it.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Yeah. Well, let's go perform.
Do your thing, and when you get up there, go ahead and announce yourself and do like you would, and just
have
at it.
All right. Sounds like fun.
So
Give me 5 seconds before we start recording, or it's already too late.
No, you can do it. How many are you gonna do this time? 3?
Let's just do 2 and 2.
Whatever you want to do.
So let's think here. I'm gonna do the thing that I wanted to do. So let me do
Put your
this.
shoes back on. Oh,
Huh?
Sorry.
The what's on?
I was making a joke. You're like, I'm gonna do the thing I wanted to do. Put your shoes back on.
Yeah. All right. I am going to do the thing that I want to do because it's me. I can do whatever I want. Whatever. I do what I want. All right. I love this capo. You should invest in one of these because then the one thing I hate about capos is that they like clip on and then you have like a tortilla chip hanging off your headstock. This one you can just slide up and down and then it's like a little tightened scrub screw. When I got it was $30 and now it's like 45 or something ridiculous, but I love it because it's just there and it's not really in the way and then it's not hanging off the headstock when you're not using it.
That, and he's got his preferences.
And that's, you know what? And that's a great thing. He should have his preferences. Cool. But anyways. So let me know when we're live, or are we already live? We're already live. Cool. Well, hey everybody. In case you didn't know from the hour or so of jargon and craziness, my name is Nick KB, and I'm going to perform a couple of songs for you. And I know I said I was going to play some original stuff, but I'm going to treat this kind of like I would a show. And I always start my shows off with this song. It's by Chuck Berry, and it's not Johnny B. Good, but it's one of my favorite songs of his. And we're going to have some fun. Hope you guys going to have some fun. Woo! Woo! All right. Well, let's take you down on good old Route 66. Well, if you have a plan to motor west, Jack, take my way, that's the highway, that's the best. And get your kicks on Route 66, where it goes from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles and all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66, where it goes to St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City. Looks so pretty, you see. Amaretto, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingston, Boston, San Bernardino. Now if you get hip to this time to tip, Jack can take that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Alright, y'all.
Colorado, Gallup in New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Bologna, Kingsman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Now if you get hip to this kind of tip, Jack can take that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. And all right, thank you very much. And now we get to do the Capo Undoing song. Capo Undoing. Nah, I'm just kidding. All right, now let's get to some original music. So this next song is called Slow Burnout, and I'm sure everybody in their life has experienced a job that slowly ticked away at their mental state. And if you haven't gotten to that point of your life, enjoy it. But I was working a desk job, and it was driving me crazy, and I couldn't do any of the things that I liked, it was kind of in music, but it wasn't in music at the same time. And it just kind of slowly drove me crazy, and I decided it's time for me to make a difference to better myself. And I thought about it a year or two after I made that choice, and this is where that song came from. So this is called Slow Burnout. Another day, another dollar. Haven't been home in 16 hours. I daydream about my bed. When I'm there, I can be most anywhere. 'Cause I have dreams of better things, wondering where my life is meant to be. So I sit and I wonder, is this slow burnout ain't meant for me? Well, this can't be all for me. All the pain the good Lord gave me, is this really what's meant for me? Guess it's time I made my own destiny. 'Cause I have dreams of better things, wondering where my life is meant to be. And so I sit and I wonder, is this slow burnout ain't meant for me? Oh! I have dreams of better things, wondering where my life is meant to be. So I sit and I wonder, is this slow burnout ain't meant for me? 'Cause I have dreams of better things, so I went and made my life all work for me. So I ran and I wondered, is this slow burnout ain't meant for me? This slow burnout ain't meant for me. This slow burnout ain't meant for me. Oh, thank you so much.
What is up, Shorewood? Woo! Nick KB here, and I'm gonna be playing music that sounds absolutely nothing like this Friday at Bedrocks in Shorewood.
There goes the 10K. There's my tinnitus kicking in. Oh man. I was laughing earlier with the countdown because like in Wayne's World. Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I love Wayne's World. It's excellent.
Party time. I was old enough to remember the first time it came out.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Before you were born.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, so
Are we live?
we're always live.
We're always
but
live.
we'll bring it back here.
Wow, that guy was really awful. awfully awesome. Oh, thank you.
So yeah, Nick. So you just performed. You did Route 66. I love that song.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever heard that version of it. You said it was a Chuck Berry version. That you kind of did the Chuck Berry take on that song.
Yeah. So like most people of my age, they saw Cars growing up, and John Mayer did a cover of it. But it's not John Mayer's version. And it's mostly Chuck Berry's version. I used my college education to spice up the ending of it a little bit. So for those who really want to know, instead of going to the 5 chord, which again, it's the 5th note of that scale, there will be a quiz at the end of this podcast for you guys to answer. Print it out. You can talk about the Nashville number system and what famous blues artist opened up for me at his own club and other questions.
Buddy guy.
Yeah, it'll be an open book test.
Open book, open note.
Yeah, open note. You just have to go through all the hilarious jokes and whatnot.
Well, I'm not even sure what's going to make the cut.
But anyways, if you want to know, all I did was instead of playing E, I played G. And it's something called modal interchange. It's where you borrow a chord from another key and put it into another key. And that's, again, a gross oversimplification of it. But I like to take covers and, I was in...
Make them your own.
Yeah, making your own. And I was in a band right before COVID hit. We finally gotten our stuff together and we were playing out somewhat regularly. And we were starting to hit our stride in 2020. And then 2020 hit 2020. And the band broke up, but it is what it is. But the singer of the group was a coworker of mine, and she was always like, if we're going to do a cover, you have to do something to make it a little bit different. So I like adding that in. I heard it's something similar on the John Mayer cover, but not entirely the same. And so
It's when I think Route 66, I'm of course thinking Manhattan Transfer.
Okay.
Because that's the one I'd always remembered, and the harmonies and the... Have you heard Manhattan Transfer?
I have not. You've named somebody I don't know, which is an accomplishment.
Well, if you like good music...
I do.
Check out the Manhattan Transfer. They do a lot of good stuff. It's, how would you describe them, Corinne? It's not a cappella, but it's close harmony singing and...
They kind of remind me of Mannheim Steamroller niche.
Yeah. Jazzy.
More vocal, jazzy, but kind of pop.
Okay.
So if you like that kind of thing...
I do.
Check out Manhattan Transfer.
I will. You do it too. Right after you hit the like button and the subscribe button.
Okay, and then we're going to get into our next segment here.
All right.
Really quick, I also liked your original.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
That also reminded me, it's funny, like when Holden does his originals, oftentimes I'm reminded of other songs where you can tell he gets inspiration.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put my finger on like what that reminded me of. I don't want to say Woody Guthrie, but it was kind of folky and had a folk vibe to it, which is really cool.
Well, thank you. It's funny, whenever I play that live, I always say, well, this is my unoriginal original, because I swear I've heard it from somewhere. And I've actually changed the intro a little bit, because I know what I want to do with with that song, and because I am about to start recording my EP, which will, I'm hoping will be out by mid-November at the absolute latest. I was hoping it was going to come out on my 31st birthday, which is October 15th. But if it doesn't, then,
let us know,
and
we'll totally put it on there and put on the Facebook page and help promote it. And
I'd appreciate that greatly.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll like it and follow. If you follow Holden on Spotify and Amazon, all that stuff too. And
definitely.
Got to cross-promote.
Oh, always. I believe I'm following Holden Music on Facebook and Instagram.
Holden Garcia Music.
Holden Garcia Music. My apologies. Gotta get that last name.
Yep. Otherwise, you can't find him. But if you're on Spotify, you got to search for Holden Garcia.
All right. Very good. Nice plug for Holden. Talk about an extremely accomplished young man. He's 10, if I'm correct.
10.
He's 10 going on 11, and he already has an album out.
It's an EP. We don't want to say get too big. It's an EP.
But it's still an amazing accomplishment for somebody to do that by 10, The only other people I can think of who are doing stuff like that. I'm not going to say that because I don't want his head to explode.
It's true.
Uh-huh.
It will get. No, but no, we have fun with it, and you got to start somewhere.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so this is where we started, and I'm excited because October 8th is his birthday. He's also a Libra,
All right.
and at that point he will be 11, so we can say Holden goes to 11.
Yes.
On
He'll be
October 8th.
one. He'll be one louder.
One louder than he is today. We just started watching Spinal Tap with him. He's never seen it. We thought it's time. He fell asleep halfway through, but he got through that scene with the.
Yeah, I can understand that though. The first time I watched Spinal Tap, like I remember the first half having a few good moments. It's really the ending where it just goes completely.
Spoilers. He hasn't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Okay, I won't say more, but I will remember. I will say this one thing: the napkin with the dimensions. When that appeared on stage, you know how people say rolling on the floor laughing? I literally was on my sides on the floor laughing because of.
It said 18 inches. I did it exactly what you said.
Exactly what you said. Oh my goodness, that was just absolutely hysterical. So I love Spinal Tap. I quote that at 11 all the time. My wife watched it with me for the first time, and she's like, "Oh my God, this is where half of your humor is from." And then she saw Wayne's World, and then she's like, "That's where the other half of your humor is from."
Well, if you love Spinal Tap, I love Spinal Tap too. Have you seen any of the other Christopher Guest mockumentaries?
I feel like I have, but I wouldn't be able to name them.
Well, I would strongly suggest, I think you will enjoy them. There's Waiting for Guffman, the mockument local theater.
Okay.
But the one I think you'll really like is A Mighty Wind,
Okay.
where they mockumentary folk music. Mm-hmm. And the guys in Spinal Tap, Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, and the guy from The Simpsons, Harry Shearer,
Okay.
come back as a group called The Folksmen, and they're a folk group. So it's the Spinal Tap guys as The Folksmen.
Okay.
But the whole thing, it's musical. Then when they do these things, a lot of it's improv.
Okay.
And you'll love it. I
Okay.
guarantee you, A Mighty Wind, you will enjoy it.
All right, I'll have to look that up.
I guarantee you specifically will love that movie. Eugene Levy,
Okay.
Catherine O'Hara.
You can say all these people's names. I don't remember.
You ever see American Pie?
Yeah, I've seen
Jim's
American
dad.
Pie.
You've known him in lots of...
I would recognize the face.
Yes.
Again, I'm awful with names unless they're musicians. Then.
Oh yeah, no, fair enough. But he's got like Schitt's Creek. You ever? Is it called that? Did I say that right? Schmitt's Creek.
You said the other word. At
What's
least
the name of the
heard
show?
Schitz is how they spell it in the show.
But I pronounced it correctly,
Schitt's
right?
Creek, yeah.
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
The name of the show.
Yeah.
He was the dad in that.
You're
and-
gonna have to do the duck censor though.
But that's the name of the show.
I
That's
know.
their last name.
And
their last name.
therein lies the joke.
I'm gonna be. I know they're up. They're Creek. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna apologize for that. That's a great show.
No,
anyway,
I was
A
telling
Mighty
you to.
Wind.
A Mighty Wind. I'll have to
and
look
when you
it up.
watch it, remember that they're ad-libbing and improving a lot. And
That's
these
usually
are-
where the best moments come from.
Oh, absolutely. They're all like musically talented people doing all this stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You'll recognize a lot of people. You'll be like, oh, that person. Oh, that person. That person. Jane Lynch. We love Jane Lynch.
Yeah.
So,
Take a nice big swig of water.
you know.
Awkward radio dead silence.
I gotta like not leave it here this time. And the okay, we're gonna get into the next set of questions.
Oh, great.
But before we do, what do you think of our little mascot here?
Dude, the gnome is awesome. It's got the full slash aesthetic where the hair's covering the head. You just see his nose. He's got music notes on for the beanie or the gnome hat, whatever you want to call it.
A little bit of a ZZ Top vibe. with
Oh,
the-
yeah, definitely. Got the beard. I still find it funny that the one guy who has the last name Beard didn't have a beard in ZZ Top. But anyways, the gnome is fantastic, and I hear that it's a great friend of the podcast.
They are. And if you are interested in any of these gnomes, you can go to Black Dog Vinyl Cafe. They've got a bunch of them there in the merch table in the records room area.
Where is Black Dog Vinyl Cafe?
It's in Plainfield. I don't have the address. I should have
Plainfield,
it.
Illinois.
Plainfield, Illinois. It's on Route 59, just south of Renwick.
Yes.
And it's a great place.
Fantastic place.
We like them. They do open mics.
They do.
Tons of live music. They're Mike and Kathy are huge supporters of the music scene and the live music scene. But yeah, check out Grace's Gnomes.
Definitely do so.
So
And we are looking for a name for our little gnome.
that's right.
Ooh.
And so, yeah, we're going to ask, put a question out there on the social medias and say, probably Facebook, but wherever, to come up with some ideas. I assume it's a boy gnome just because of the beard, but
You never know. There could be Elvira
know.
under there.
You never know. But, yeah. So, if you have name ideas, throw them out there and we'll see what we come up with.
I'm awful at naming things, so I will
But
take a
these are
step back.
Cool
from there.
gnomes.
They are very cool gnomes.
They got me a Prince one with the purple and it's
Does
really
he give
cool.
you a kiss?
No, he's it sings, when doves cry and
Yeah.
nothing compares to you.
But do you know that's a cover, right? Prince covered "Nothing Compares to You." Yeah. It was.
Okay, tell me who you think the original was.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. I know it's a cover. Prince did not write it. Oh my gosh. It's a female artist. And
Sinead O'Connor?
Yes, Sinead O'Connor. But I don't know if she even wrote that one.
She didn't. You know
Okay.
who wrote it?
Who?
Prince.
For her. Yes, that's the story.
No,
but
it wasn't even for her. He wrote it in the 80s,
was it?
and it was one of his songs. And she
And it
heard
was later cover. Okay.
She covered it, and she's like, this song is awesome. And she just, blew it away when she did it.
Yeah.
But it's a Prince song.
Yeah, okay, so I got it flip-flopped.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
I'll give you a word of, when you see me shaking my head, doesn't mean that I'm right.
Uh-huh.
When you see her shaking her head, 99 times out of 100, she's probably right.
Okay. I'll take
But she
your
was
word
over
for it.
there, she's like, Prince wrote this song.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Prince did a cover of his own song.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah,
It's just like
Prince is very talented.
oh my goodness.
Super talented.
Oh my gosh.
And 4
yes.
inches tall, about as big as that gnome.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever see him when he got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? They did a jam at the end of it. It was While My Guitar Gently
Yes. He wasn't supposed to be on the stage at all for that. He pulled the Prince card of I'm Prince, I'm doing this.
See,
and so he walked on stage and he played one of the most mind-blowing guitar solos of all time. And the coolest thing is, you listen to it and but it's so good that it was captured on video because, he's, playing the solo, leading into the crowd as they push him back up on stage and stuff. And, George Harrison's son was playing rhythm acoustic guitar on that. And, at first, when they were first playing it, you could tell that he was,
In awe.
not in awe because Prince hadn't showed up. Prince didn't put his exclamation mark at the
But
end
Tom
of that
Petty
song.
was there.
Tom
Danny
Petty.
Harrison was there.
Danny
Yeah.
Harrison. Yes. Jeff Lynne.
Lynn was there.
Yeah, no, there was an all-star lineup, but you could see, he's probably, Danny was thinking of his dad, he was a little, and he just watched and then he watched Prince, and he did all that stuff, and you just see his face light up, and Prince had such an infectious energy during that performance in particular.
See, I didn't realize one schedule. I thought he was going to be part of it, but because he's Prince, he was just going to do his thing when he wanted.
Yeah, there was a whole there's a story that I don't
Interesting.
remember all the details to, but he was just like, I'm Prince, and he did it. It's same thing with his the best. There was a drop, a mic drop, but it was over there. The best Super Bowl halftime show of all time was Prince. You can't stage as you're about to play a song with rain in the title, a torrential downpour, and then rip just have everything work, and they're gonna try and stop him, and he's like, I'm Prince, and he did it, and just musically for me, it's you can't beat that moment. In my opinion. Now, there's not to just deny anybody else who's done a Super Bowl halftime show. They all put their best. They all do their
Prince,
very best.
man.
It's tough to beat Prince.
My second favorite part of when he did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, besides this, was the very end when he's done. Just took the guitar and threw it.
Yeah.
And walked off.
Yeah, you never see the guitar fall down in the footage.
Yeah, he just throws it out there. Somebody's gonna catch it. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Complete sidebar, but my favorite playing in the rain. Lyle Lyle Fest when they do the hot air balloons.
Okay.
They have all
Oh, yeah, yeah.
hot air balloons
Yep.
out. They have a concert at night. And the performer was Willie Nelson.
Okay.
And they perform out on a little island in this little retention pond.
Mm-hmm.
So they walk over a little bridge, and all the cables for everything are run over this little bridge, and then he's out on the island in the middle of water. So it starts lightning and raining everywhere, and he stops the song and says, "They're telling me I have to get off the stage because I'm in water. But if you're willing to sit there and listen, I'm willing to stand here and sing." And he refused to get off the performance stage.
Oh boy, that sounds like Willie.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I had a snarky joke, but again, this is a family show, so I'm going to leave it there.
All right. Well, Willie was one of the. Was he one of the Highwaymen with Johnny Cash?
Oh yes, he was a highwayman.
And who else was it? Hank Williams Jr. Was it?
And
who's the other
I
one?
forget if Roy Orbison was. No.
Well, Roy Orbison was a Woolbury.
Yeah,
with Tom Petty
with
and
Tom
George
Petty
Harrison
and Jeff
Lynne and
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Yes. There was one other one that I can't think of now.
I don't know who the other Highwayman was.
It'll come to us after we stop
Or
recording.
Corinne will look it up.
Hey, Google,
If only we had
who
a
are the
device.
Highwaymen?
According to Wikipedia, the Highwaymen were an American country music supergroup composed of 4 of country music's biggest artists who pioneered the outlaw country subgenre: Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson.
Okay, we were way off with Hank Williams Jr., but
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings.
I was just going with it, but yeah. Yes.
Waylon Jennings, wasn't he the guy that was
Working Man Blues. No, wait.
No, he was the one that
Waylon.
in 1959 was it? When the Buddy Holly crash.
Oh,
He was gonna be on the plane with Buddy and the Big Bopper, and Richie ended up taking his spot, Richie
yeah.
Valens.
That sounds about right.
And then Waylon, and for years that like haunted him
Oh yeah.
as a
Well, you know who's supposed to be on Stevie Ray Vaughan's helicopter, right?
Tell me the story, because I don't.
So there's 2 stories for this story, which both have a tragic ending. The last show that Stevie Ray Vaughan played was here in Illinois at a giant festival. My dad, a young 15-year-old man, was given tickets to it the day of. He could not drive. He could not get there. Anyways, at the show, Stevie Ray Vaughan played with like Jeff Beck and Buddy Guy and all these amazing people and put on an amazing show. And it's recorded to say that the people who were there said it was one of the best times they've ever seen Stevie Ray Vaughan play. He was fighting with alcoholism and other substance abuses, and he was finally going clean, and he was finally getting his life together. And he had to get to his next show, as most people do, and Eric Clapton was also on that bill. Well, Eric Clapton had a private helicopter, and he was supposed to go on that helicopter. And Stevie Ray Vaughan, he ended up just saying to Stevie, "Oh, you can take it." And Stevie Ray Vaughan got onto that helicopter, which leads to the sad conclusion of that helicopter crashed, and he is no longer with us. And then here's the comedic ending to it. I just would pay, if like time travel becomes a thing, I would pay to see my dad's reaction the next morning when he woke up missing that show.
And then finding out what happened.
Just seeing how he would react. Because if it was me, I'd be saying a whole bunch of words that would get censored out immediately on here.
Oh my gosh.
It was like the day I found out Jeff Beck passed last year. I startled my wife because I was just so upset because I love Jeff Beck. I love his music. And in 2021, he was playing Chicago, and I wanted to go. I had the night free. I could have went. I could have bought my ticket for $80 and sat in a nosebleed at the Chicago Theater. I was like, oh, I'll see him again next time. And then like a month and a half later, he passes, and
So,
I was saying lots of friendly words.
so life lesson, people. If there's somebody you want to see, don't wait.
Yep.
Go see them.
Make the time. Make the trip. Do it.
Holden's up there doing this because last year you got to see CG5 in concert.
Ooh.
Who he had a moment with them when CG5 looked at him and said, "Shut up." He was having fun with the crowd.
Oh, of
but-
course. Yeah. It's all in good taste.
And he
I
got
would
to
hope.
see Vampire Weekend
Okay.
a few weeks ago. He wasn't that close to see that, but anyway.
How about we get back to the script?
Okay. So this last segment is getting to know you.
Moi?
You. What makes you tick? What makes you talk? I used that joke last time, didn't I? What makes you tick-tock? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to kind of go through this.
All right.
And then when we're done, you're going to go perform a couple more for us, and then we'll wrap up.
All right.
And we'll go from there.
All right. Sounds
Okay.
great.
So what is the best compliment you have ever received?
All right. This one still haunts me. It's a good compliment. So last year, I made the pilgrimage down to Nashville because an amp builder that I used and a pedal builder that I used and a guitar company that I wish I could afford the guitars for had a giant Nashville hang. And it was like all these independent Nashville instrument and amplifier and music builders had a giant hangout, basically. They rented out a brewery. They had like a really good chef. Like, oh my God, I had one of the best burgers of my life there. It was like so good. Like they paid like a ridiculously qualified chef, like
Gourmet.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, and it wasn't that expensive. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. But we went down, and I went down to see all the people and have a good time. But I was also supposed to pick up an amp at the show because I had bought it from Morgan Amplifiers. It's a single guy. He makes, well, I should say he's a single guy. I actually went to his shop this year and was talking with him. And I saw his shop where he builds stuff, and he'll make custom one-off stuff, but he also has a amplifier distributor based out of California called Boutique Amp Company. And they make like Soldanos and Morgans and Tone Kings.
Okay.
And again, I know too much about music gear for my own good. Wampler pedals and a few others. But I went down to pick up an amp that he built because he had it up for sale. And I was like, oh, that's a great price. Hey, could you do this for me? He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll do that for you. So I show up to the show, and I'm expecting a new amplifier for me to take home when the show is done. And he messed up, and he put the wrong thing in the wrong thing, and he's like, I'm so sorry, and, you know, I'm like, oh, I don't care, you'll ship it out to me. I was just trying to save you shipping because I was coming down here. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I'm about to have this massive spine surgery done. I'm like, dude, it's okay. At first I was like, whatever, I don't care. I was a little bummed. And then I hear that you're going through surgery and you're on a bunch of different medicines. I'm like, oh my God, dude, no, take care of yourself. No, it's fine. I can wait if you, like, take your time. I'll get the amp when I get the amp. But I went through and I was testing out stuff and I was playing through stuff. And I started playing at the booth next door to his. And you know, we were talking a little bit, and he's going off, and he's being a professional businessman and talking to everybody there and talking about how all of his amps are amazing and what they're based off of and blah, 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 and the tone stacks and all of that stuff that I could go on for hours about that most people want that they tune off or might.
Holden can match you, by the way, at some of this. Not quite, but
he's young. He'll get there. He'll get there.
Yep.
He'll get there. But I just slowly started noticing, though, like, I could see, like, I started playing at this pedal booth that was next door that was using his amps as well. And I was playing, I was having some fun. And I just kept playing, and I was just kind of testing stuff, and I was asking the pedal guys questions. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, what's this based off? And I play appropriately to the style circuit. And I remember the guy at the pedal booth's like, here's my business card, come visit my shop tomorrow. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. And then, to me in my own, I was already like, holy cow. I'm like, all right. And this is a guy who builds all like the touring rigs for all the Nashville guys, like people who tour with Kenny Chesney. They make pedal boards for Andy Wood, who's known for playing with Rascal Flatts.
Oh, nice.
They put together boards that look like pedal boards that look super clean, like a surgeon made them, and they're amazing and they work fantastically. I would love to get a board built by them one day, but I know how to do it, and I am a cheap person within reason. You know, I'll buy the best stuff that I can, and I'll put it together myself, and I'll do my zip ties and all that, and it looks nice and clean. And I was already ecstatic by that. I'm like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go to their shop. I'm gonna see like everything and like where they do everything. But the amp guy, after I got done, I finished playing. He literally walked over to me and first I looked around and I noticed that there was like a small crowd of people around me, and I'm not singing or anything. I'm just playing guitar and having a good time because like I like singing and it's fantastic. I'm definitely a musician who plays guitar and sings, and not a musician who sings and plays the guitar. Again, I'm going to toot my own horn. Toot toot. I'm trying to be confident in my abilities. It's something that if you would have seen me 2 or 3 years ago, I would never say I was good at anything, because I compare myself to the best of the best, and I found that I just need to be better than I was yesterday, and just keep moving and try and improve to the best of my abilities. But I still like to compare myself to others because I'm a human being, and it's okay to do that. Don't let it get to the point where you think you're awful, because that was also me.
So, did I miss the compliment?
The compliment is coming.
Okay.
But so I had a crowd of people around me, and we're in Nashville, so it's like if you got a crowd of guitar players looking at what you're doing and like taking pictures of your
You're
pedal
doing something
setting,
really right or really wrong.
I'm doing. I could tell, and so the amp builder grabbed my shoulder and he pulled me aside and he started asking me questions about like who I am, it's what we're doing right now. He's like, so where are you? Oh, I'm in Illinois. Oh, okay, what do you do? And oh, well, I work in special education during the day, and then I play throughout the weekends, whatever. And this was the compliment, and I'm sorry if we're gonna have to. I don't know if we're gonna have to beep this one out. It's the H word with the double hockey sticks at the end. But he pulled me aside and he's like, "What the hell are you doing up there? You need to be down here." You could be making about $5,000 to $6,000 every week if you move down here. He's like, I was just like, what? He's like, you are good. You can make a lot of money if you move down here. Like, he's like, I know people who play here and they make, $3-4 grand every week. And he's like, and you're better. And I was just like, what? And so it's still in my brain. There's still that thought that I am fighting, because I'm very fortunate to live in a house, and I've married a beautiful wife, and we have a house and we have a garden, and all of my family is close, and my grandmother who lived in Tennessee just moved back to Illinois, so she's close to family. And I have all of that, but there's still that voice in my head that says like, dude, you could be doing something, and it's there. But then at the same time, I also think I'm close to Chicago. Like, that's another one of the big it's got a rich musical heritage and history, and there's so many recording studios and stuff. So it's just, yeah. Well, but that's the compliment. He's like, what are you doing down here? You should be down here because you could be making a living and thriving. And to me, hearing that from somebody who knows people, who knows some of the greats that I try to imitate, like Josh Smith has a signature Morgan amp, and Tosin Abasi has Animals as leaders. They're like a super heavy progressive metal instrumental group, where the guitar player has literally revolutionized the way people play guitar. Like, he is like not in a popular sense like Eddie Van Halen did with Van Halen, but like in a pure technical way, like thumping and playing on an 8-string. He has his own guitar line now based off the concepts that he wants, and he uses his amps, and he's seen the cream of the crop. And when I got that compliment from him, it still resonates to me. That's Joe. Awesome. It won't go away. So thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
No, but Joe's a sweetheart. He last time I was down in Nashville, I texted him like, "Hey, I'm coming through." He's like, "Oh, sweet, swing by the shop." And we just sat and we talked for like 2 hours, and my wife was bored because,
And that's why she won't move down to Nashville, because she knows what it'd be like.
Oh no, I don't think she'd be bored. She's a smart cookie. She's an excellent piano player too. So, she's amazing. And she could play banjo too. So she could get some bluegrass stuff.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you're doing some pretty cool things here too.
Well, thank you.
So it's not like you're just sitting around eating like Cocoa Puffs and reading comic books.
Oh yeah, no.
Now there's anything wrong with that.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
But you're doing some good stuff here. There are kids you're teaching, and that their lives are better off because of what you do when you work with them.
Oh,
So
Can I change my answer to that? That touched me. Thank
no,
you so much.
I'd stick with the guy from Nashville because
Yeah.
I'm kidding around. Well, I'm not kidding around, but as a musician and entertainer, you get people all the time that come up to you and compliment you. I know you do. Holden has the same thing, and we appreciate it. We love it. We entertain people, and I say we because it's Holden Garcia Music, but
Yeah.
we entertain people, and it means something with these people. But then when someone like Joe gives you that compliment, and you know his background or what he knows, it's even more special.
Yeah.
Because the layman, the average audience member, yeah, you're great.
Yeah.
And you are, but
Thank you.
it's validation.
Yes.
That people that really, really know. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely the best compliment I've ever gotten.
That's
was
awesome.
That's just, yeah.
And question 2, I'm going to do a really quick aside.
Okay.
But I don't want to talk about it because I want to finish this before midnight. Sweetwater,
Okay.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been?
I have not.
Next year, Guitar Fest. I'd recommend if you've got...
I was kicking
get
myself
away.
that I was so booked that weekend because I really wanted to know because I know a lot of the people who went there.
Holden went there.
Yeah. Did you meet Robert Keeley?
I don't think so.
Oh, you should have.
He doesn't know a lot of the big name. We
So
don't
Robert
either, but-
Keeley is the person who runs Keeley Electronics. He is most known for his compressor pedals from the early 2000s. He made like the first ever him along with like Mike Fuller and Brian Wampler, like the first like boutique pedal guys. He was down there with Andy Timmons and a whole bunch of other cool cats. Keeley Electronics, love those. I have like a ton of their stuff.
That name sounds very familiar. We spent a lot of...
Yeah.
Holden played like almost every pedal he could.
Yes,
And
so
he was at all the pedal booths. And
He probably met Robert Keeley. He's the sweetest guy.
we might have, because they had a few different areas of equipment. They had like a pedal room with all the pedal vendors, and then they had like another place with the guitars, and they had this big area with all these different guitars and amps, and he hit almost every booth and played tons of stuff, and
Oh yeah.
it was really cool. It was a really long day.
Yeah.
And it was crazy the amount of people that were there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. No, it's
Next year when they announce it, just
Yeah, well, I need to know when they announce it, but usually by the time they've announced it,
You're already booked.
I'm already booked.
yeah.
So unless a gig falls through that weekend, if that ever happens, I'm going.
It was a good time. I'd recommend it.
That or I'll just ask Robert and be like, "Hey, Rob, do you know when the next Gear Fest
Well, they
is?"
gotta
And he
plan
might.
this stuff months in advance. So
Yeah.
I don't know how often you book, how far out you book, but 2,
it
3
depends.
months, 6 months.
Right now I am finishing booking my November and December.
Okay.
But
so
I'm
4 months.
also already booking for next year because a lot of the festivals are ending, so they're already going to start booking for next year, so that way they don't have to think about it next year.
Oh, later, can we chat?
Of course.
Because, complete aside, I'm telling the camera. I'm actually telling Ken.
That's fine.
Later, let's chat about some of that because I want to get Holden into more festivals.
Okay, yeah.
And well, he wants to. It's not like I'm pushing him, but he
Yeah.
did Bitter Jester this
Yes.
year, and he did Homegrown. They're both great, but we know there's a bunch out there, and we just don't know where to even look for some of these. And
Yeah. I'm still working on that too, building that stuff up. Like I've been very fortunate with some of the stuff. Some of the stuff has fallen in my lap and some of the stuff
Yeah,
I've
well,
like
that's
clawed
what-
at. So
we've been very fortunate with just meeting people, and so
that's the best advice. Just
Yeah.
word of mouth, talking to people and
we're talking to you. So
talking to me
okay,
apparently.
well,
No, come on. You got to do the Wayne's World bit. Let's do the Scooby-Doo ending. Thank you. Come on now.
so I was going for the end scene.
End scene.
Okay. What advice would you give yourself when you were first starting to perform? And by that I mean when you were 16.
Yeah.
Starting to perform.
I looked at that one and I had an answer for that. So I remember when I was 16 years old, one of my performances at this little place, it was later down the line. It was after my first performance. But I remember me and a buddy, we played our just heavy metal, and we were like, yeah, we're really oh, sorry. I caught it before I said it, but
Hold
there
on,
might be a
cover
duck
your
going
ears.
quack. But we're like, yeah, and we're jamming and whatever, and we're playing Metallica and we're doing all this crazy stuff, and people kind of like, yay.
Light applause.
And then this one guy walks up and he grabs his guitar, he puts his capo on the second fret, and he plays Wonderwall, and the whole crowd goes crazy. And I still remember that because I had a chip on my shoulder. Because I was like, what? I spent months learning how to play the guitar solo to one and how to play the second solo for Mr. Crowley, and they didn't, and we just got a light clap, and what's wrong with there's just 4 chords, and I liked that song at the time. It made me hate the song. I loved Wonderwall, but after that I was like, oh, that song's just, it's overrated and overplayed. And if I could go back and talk to myself, I would go and I would tell myself, why do you think they liked that song better than what you were doing? It's not always about what I mean, you should always be true to yourself. Like, this is kind of a weird thing. Like, I'm not saying always bend your whim to what you do, but take your strengths and see what the crowd is vibing off of and play to the crowd. Mm-hmm. Always play to the crowd. If you're not playing to the crowd or playing to the room and you're not, like, you know, engaging with them, going back to my weakness of not staring at them from part 1 of the 24 episode podcast interview.
The Former Chat podcast with KB.
Yes. It would be, you know, like, read the room, realize what you need to do. How can you change what you did and not be a pretentious 16-year-old?
Or a 10-year-old.
You know, we all go through that, though, and that's the great thing about being a human, and that's the great thing about getting older, is learning and looking back at yourself and being able to laugh at yourself. You know?
Well, I'm laughing not at you.
Oh yeah, you can laugh at me.
I've had these conversations with a certain 10-year-old, and
what, your own, your maybe possibly your own offspring?
Yes, and I sum it up very succinctly with, Holden, play smarter, not harder.
Oh yeah, that's great words of wisdom to go by.
And just be smart about it. Pick good songs. Entertain the crowd. Mm-hmm. Don't, yeah. Time and a place.
So to go back to me, though, if I were to muster up a non-paradox causing way of time travel and talking to myself, again, I can go down rabbit holes, man. I despise movies that use time travel as like a major plot point, because then you go into string theory and then you can talk about the multiple different outcomes and it becomes an infinite
multiverse.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of hogwash that I don't want to bore people with. That I already did, because my mouth just kept going. But if I could go back in time and tell myself something, I'd say something very similar to what you're saying. You know, play to the crowd, have fun, and take what you love and present it to the crowd in a way that they'll love it too.
Yes.
Because not everyone would like a screaming loud metal guitar solo. But if you play the right song and you put the guitar solo in it, and it works, and then people will go crazy. You know, put a shred guitar solo on Wonderwall, Nick. That's what you should do. And then people might actually respond to it because they love that song, because, you know, it's late 2010s. I guess Oasis kind of was more of a late 90s band, correct? So it was still relevant-ish, but not as big as it was, but it was still enough for everybody to know all the words and sing along to. Like, find the stuff that works and try and enhance it or spin it in your own way.
Well, like I said 2 hours ago, people won't remember what you played, but they're going to remember how you made them feel.
And that's such great advice.
Yeah. I didn't come up with that. Someone else did. But it applies. And
it does. It's relevant.
Okay. So how do you spend your free time?
Free time.
Do you have free time?
What's that?
I do podcasts.
Oh. No, I mean, again, I'm very fortunate, and I'm so happy that I have opportunities like I am right now today, being in this podcast and talking to you and talking to all the great listeners on the internet. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube if you're listening on YouTube. But what I do in my free time is I like playing video games. I was the target demographic for when Pokemon first came out, so I still play those games.
You see Holden back there giving you a thumbs up on everything you're saying.
Oh, yeah, I was the target demographic of Pokemon. I could probably name over 1,000 because there's now over 1,000 Pokemon.
Do it.
I'm not.
We don't have the time.
We do not have the time.
Holden's like, do it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, and I'm just like, try me. I'm gonna just start at Bulbasaur and work my way all the way up until oh my gosh, I'm blanking now on Miraidon.
Is Pikachu, is that a Pokemon?
Pikachu is indeed a Pokemon. That and
I know that one.
That and Fire Pikachu and Water Pikachu and Pika Blue, which is technically is what people said when we were kids because it was all before the internet was a thing. Isn't that wild?
Dude, the internet was a thing. Like, you were born in 93. Mm-hmm. The internet was a thing like in 95. But it took a while to get really popular.
So let me rephrase this. Before the internet was as easily accessible as it is in what, like 2000. Yeah, 2000. Before it was that you would sit at playgrounds and you would talk with your friends and stuff, and they'd be like, "I hear if you do this, you glitch into this area and you surf to the right." And you strike on this truck, you could find Mew, and it was just like these little things. Well, when the second generation of the Pokemon games came out, they released a Pokemon called Meryl, but nobody knew what it was because it appeared at the start of the first ever Pokemon movie, and it was a couple brand new Pokemon that didn't have names that nobody knew. People called Meryl Peekaboo. So, there's a tangent about Pokemon. I know way too much. I was actually. I work at a facility. It's called Little Friends. We work with students who are on the autism spectrum, primarily low functioning. And I'm working in a new classroom this year. And there's a young man. His name I will not say, but he likes doing puzzles. And he has a Pokemon puzzle right now. And it's funny because we're just start going like, "Oh, you finished Venusaur. Oh, you finished Bulbasaur. You finished Ivysaur." And he's like, "Oh, you know all the names." And like one of our amazing behavior team came in. They're talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, look at that guy." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's Chimchar." And they're like, "Oh," and it's kind of awkward. It's like, "Oh, you know that?" I'm like, "I was the target demographic when it came out, and I never stopped playing it." So
Misspent youth.
Oh no, Misspent Youth was me with the Guitar Hero craze.
Oh.
I was a Guitar Hero kid so much. Like I had a real guitar in my room, and I was playing Guitar Hero. And then one day I was playing Cliffs of Dover. Again, that song has just resonated with me for so long. But it's based off the studio version. And I was playing that down in my dad's basement. And my dad's like, "You have a real guitar sitting right next to you, Nick. If you would have spent half as much time as you've been playing this Guitar Hero game in the past 6 months, you would have already been able to play Cliffs of Dover on the real guitar." And I was like, "Oh shoot, you're right." And then I literally stopped playing it.
Dad ruined games for me forever.
No, he didn't. He didn't ruin it. I'll still pick that up every now and then and laugh because it's like, oh my god, this is not how guitar works now. But
I was always bummed. We had the Guitar Heroes, we had the Rock Band, we had all that stuff before the kid was born. Mm-hmm. And we're like, he would love this game. But it's all, we don't have the consoles anymore. We don't have the stuff really anymore. And
the only thing I could say that you could get out of that was the drummers for Rock Band.
Yeah,
it's like actually almost playing a drum set. You're getting a lot of the core motions down now. Whether or not you have a good wrist technique and stuff like that, it's probably not going to be there.
Well, if you had an electric drum kit, they would make devices you can actually hook up to the game.
Yeah.
And so you could actually play the real set with the game.
Okay.
I never did, but I saw it, they had it, and I was like,
Yeah.
But
yes, to answer your question, what I do in my very little free time is I go on podcasts. And I like to play video games and
spend time with the wife.
Spend time with the wife. I'm an avid foodie, and I live in Naperville, and there's a ton of food. So, I mean, I love going and trying new food, and my wife is an amazing cook, so we'll find new recipes and we'll try that, and sometimes I'll cook stuff. But, you know, video games, good food, and I like to try and get out, at least try and do one trip every year to go out somewhere, see the world a little bit. Trying to see everywhere in the U.S., you know.
You've been everywhere,
Man, I've been everywhere, man. Cross the desert, it's bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. Trouble I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
Take it away.
Again, I'm not gonna continue with that. I did at one time have that entire
something.
yeah, it's every
something.
city name. I there was a time where I had that entire song memorized.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I never got that far. I got American Pie up in here, but I don't have that song.
A long time ago.
Okay. So if you could visit anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Ooh, I like that question. I saw it and I had multiple answers, and good way to segue into that when we're talking about traveling, huh? I see what you did there. But for me, it would have to be Denmark Street in London. Because I would want to see all of those historic shops. Because I am a huge Beatles nerd. And I'm I've always been a huge...
Abbey Road is?
No.
Okay.
So, Denmark Street, hopefully I'm saying the right street. Because now I'm going to be...
I
made a fool. It's on the interwebs. But it's a street where... like Jim Marshall got their start, Vox got their start. It's where the Tone Bender was made, and it's where all of these musicians would go and buy their gear.
Okay.
And it's still there. You can still go to like the original store where the original Tone Benders were made, which Tone Bender is what like Jimmy Page used to get like those big fuzzy sounds on like Dazed and Confused and songs like that. Or Jeff Beck used a ton of Tone Bender stuff and whatever.
The Who?
And
The Who?
The Who? Yeah, The Who. Who?
I was gonna do a bit, but
Who?
Go on. Yeah, the Who?
Who?
The Who?
Who?
Anyway.
There's a great bit from an Animaniacs show. If you guys remember that show from the 90s.
Dana Delaney.
Yeah. You know, hello, nurse. Anyways, but they did Who's on First with The Who. And it's like the grandma squirrel and the young squirrel, and the grandma squirrel is like, "Who's on stage? Who? Yeah, the band. Who? What's the name? Who? What's the name? Who? No, the band. No, that's not the band. Then who's on stage? Who?" And that is the end of the short. I remember like, "Hey, I get it."
You loved Animaniacs.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I first heard They Might Be Giants.
Oh, of course. Istanbul.
Wasn't
It's
they?
Constantinople now. It's Istanbul.
What's that, Corinne?
Tiny Toons.
Oh,
Tiny Toons was, my bad.
Oh, whatever.
I saw They Might Be Giants in concert in 1995.
Okay.
University of Iowa.
I was introduced to They Might Be Giants my freshman year in my Western Civilization course because he put on Constantinople. Because Istanbul was Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul.
I saw them when they were doing the Flood album tour the first time.
Okay.
But, okay. So Denmark Street in London because of all the.
I'd want to see for the historical facts of it all, and and then I'd be in London, and then I can go see the Harry Potter Bridge.
Yeah.
And go, it's Leviosa, not Leviosa, and whatever. But yeah, like London's always, and then obviously try and see Abbey Road, and the great thing about
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge. And that's all we can say because Holden hasn't seen all of Spinal Tap.
Yep, we gotta get on that.
Yeah, no, I'd love to just spend the day around that area, and maybe make a trip down to London. And the cool thing that my brain has to get wrapped around, because I saw a video from a British person. They're like, Americans are well traveled, but they're just well traveled in their country because every state is like a different country. Because, like, if you compare the size of Britain to Illinois, I think it's roughly
the same mass area,
like
or
the same size, almost the same size.
Hmm.
So it's like for a Briton to go from Liverpool to London, that's too far of a drive. It's like a 2-hour drive. And then there's me. It's like
Bloomington.
I just drove 12 hours to get to Pennsylvania. Got me a Philly cheesesteak that was really disappointing. I wish that was just a comedy bit. It was the most bland, tasteless. It was from one of the two places that fight over if they invented the Philly cheesesteak. We went to one, and it was just the most bland, unseasoned.
Yeah, on an off day. Okay.
Well, my wife's sandwich tasted the exact whatever, but yeah, no, I'd love to spend a day in London and then see all of Britain.
I would too. And Corinne's What do you call yourself? A Francophile?
Anglophile.
Anglophile.
Yeah, Francophile is French.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oui, oui.
no. So we love the British sitcoms, the Britcoms, and there's Vicar of Dibley. Do you like British sitcoms?
I don't know. I just really like Monty Python.
Monty Python. Well, there was a show that she got me into called The Vicar of Dibley. It's been off the air for a long time, but it's Dawn French from French and Saunders. But Dawn French, she played like this vicar, and it's a cute show. Or Coupling. Loved Coupling, the British version. But anyway, what is the most useless talent that you have?
I saw that and I was just trying to think of it. And
Is it you can name all 1,000 Pokemons?
you know, we could go with that, but I know there's gonna be like one or two that I would forget. Like if one I would have to see them and it's like, oh, that's Bulbasaur. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's this.
But what do you think your most useless talent is?
I mean, see, if it's a talent, it's not really useless. See, I would go
That's a
into
good point.
I would go into the semantics of that. If it's a talent, it's something you can do that not anybody else can do. So therefore, it's not useless. But I'd say, you know, my absurd amount of Pokemon knowledge is definitely something along there, as well as my unreasonably, like, the amount of gear knowledge I know. It's like, oh, I know that Jeff Beck used, or like
See, that's not useless either, though.
Eric Johnson used a 1959 Marshall Super Lead Plexi with two different British Marshall 4x12 cabs, where he put in specific features, and in his vintage I forget what year Dallas Arbiter Fuzz Face, he used only Duracell batteries from Jamaica.
Is that true, or are you just making that up?
That is true.
Wow.
He used specifically for a while a Duracell battery from Jamaica because of the current, and it worked better with his fuzz pedals apparently.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But again, this goes back to Eric Johnson. I love Eric Johnson, if that's not apparent by now. But he also is very much aware of how much he has ears, the best ears on the planet. Like you hear it, he hears everything, and he was doing a promotional video or whatever, and he's aware of it, so he can make fun of himself. And he had an amp there, and he's like, so it was like this bonus feature DVD. Cue the motorcycle noise that you may or may not have just heard.
You might not. These are really nice mics.
They are nice mics. But he was at the end of this basically bonus DVD or whatever, where he talked about all of his pedal boards, what amps he was using for songs and tracks. He cuts to a video of him, and he's just like, he's got like this like $20 transistor little basic amp, and he's like, you know what I was saying about all that fancy tone? No, man, all you need to get is one of these. And he puts a can of WD-40 on it, and it tilts the amp back. He's like, see that? The WD-40, how it's out of tilt? That's the sound right there. He cracks me up.
Oh, man. All right.
But yeah.
Well, if you won $1 million tomorrow, what would you do with it?
See, I would love to be, you know, like the correct answer and be like, donate it all to charity. And
You can donate some if you want. But
yeah. So, I mean, realistically, because I've had this thought, because it's nice. I don't play the lottery, so it's not going to happen. Because
we only play with it's over $1 billion. And then we're holding that anyway.
But $1 million is a lot of money. And realistically, if you really want to know, I would talk to like a lottery lawyer, because people get crazy with money. I would probably set up a nice retirement fund for myself and invest stuff. And then once I've gotten those investments and been able to make a return on that and become to the point where I don't have to work a day job or do anything, and I can just do music full time, take the benefits of those stock investments and everything, and then donate to charity. And I would donate to like cancer foundations, and Doctors Without Borders is another great one. You know, the Prevent Cancer Society, or the Prevent Cancer Foundation, and things like that, and try and help people who are dealing with tough diseases. Because I am, you know, fortunate, knock on wood, that I am mostly healthy. I've got some health issues, but nothing too serious that's not manageable with medication and diet and exercise. I love it. But you know, there are some people in this world who really just have a really rough time. You know, just laying in bed. Like, then that's all they can do. Because if they try and get out of bed, it causes them excruciating pain, and it's awful. And I don't wish that to be on anybody. I think life is meant to be lived and enjoyed. And you know, so if there was something I could do with that money, after becoming self-sufficient, and it's kind of greedy, but it's. For me, you
could also teach for free. Teach kids music for free.
Oh yeah, I would do that. I'd do that in a heart. I'd do that in a heartbeat. Yeah, I'd open up my own little music school and teach people. I mean, I do every now and then teach a lesson for free. You know, like, I've had students. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I just went to the hospital. I have to stop taking lessons. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, your next couple lessons are on me. You know, medical bills aren't cheap, and and you know, and so it's just stuff like that. You know, I would try and give back to people who are much less fortunate, and you know, do the Mr. Beast thing. He made himself very profitable, and now he's out in the world, and he's you know, like, I've seen videos of him mining wells in Africa for people and building housing and stuff. So that would be something that would be
very cool. Although
I'm using it as an example, you know, like, build your wealth and then spread it.
Yep.
And spread it.
Absolutely. Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Final question.
Okay. It's the final
question. A little bit of Europe.
Yeah. I mean, we were already there when we were talking about my ideal place.
That's right. I've never been to Europe, and we'd love to go to England someday. But what is something that you, Nick KB, want to tell your fans?
Something I want to tell my fans. Well, first and foremost, this is serious time. No, thank you. No, seriously, I cannot thank everybody enough for all that they do, for supporting me. It means more than words could ever describe, you know. More than words is all you have to do. Okay, but you know, thank you. You know, without support from fans and people like you, I'd just be another guy, you know. If I didn't have that strong support system of people who cared enough to say good job and thanks so much, or oh, I'm following you and I love seeing what you post, it just means the world to me. So thank you so much. You are a part of why I can't say this now. You are part of the reason as to why I do what I do, because it's all for you guys. I always try to give back out to you guys.
That's great. I'll tell you, Nick, before you walked in the store tonight, you had 3 fans in this room. And after tonight, I think you got another one.
Oh, well, thank you.
So at this point, you're going to play a couple more for us.
All right.
And then we'll wrap things up.
All right. Sounds great.
Awesome. So take the stage.
Oh, boy. Woo.
Hello, Internet World. I'm going to close it out for a couple of songs, so let's do something original, and then maybe I'll do something original again, or maybe I'll do a cover. It's spontaneous. Just not combustion, thankfully. We're not talking about Spinal Tap anymore. But this is a song of mine that's called Manage the Damage, and it's a song about life and how it goes on. And I hope it resonates with you in some way, shape, or form. Become longer, and the wind it blows even stronger, longer. Cool wind blows and makes me feel right at home. don't know where all the time goes. Where'd it go? Time is in motion, you can't stop the flow, so let it go. Memories don't fade away, they're here another day, so hold them close. I wish you were here with me for an hour once more, so I can say to you, I miss you, my friend. Winter comes, the nights they get colder, and regrets fall, come down and get heavier and heavier. And though we try to manage the damage, why does life go by so quickly? It looks me, time is in motion, you can't stop the flow, so let it go. Memories don't fade away, they're here another day, so hold them close. I wish you were here with me for an hour once more, so I can say to you, yes, it's true. I wish you were here with me just for a day. So much I'd like you to know. But when we will meet again, I'll never know. But I do think of you all my life. You're by my side. Time is in motion, you can't stop the flow, so let it go. Memories don't fade away with me, they always stay. I hold them close. I wish you were here with me for an hour once more, so I can say to you, yes, it's true, I love you, and you lift me always. Thank you, thank you. Oh, that song always tugs at the old heartstrings, you know? That's a cool thing. Do I want to keep with the heartstrings, or should we should end on a positive note, not something kind of... Remember I was talking about crazy chord voice things? It's stuff like this that I have, and it's like, oh, how did I do that again? But no, we won't do that. You know what? We talked about a lot of Johnny Cash, and I was practicing this song a little while ago in my living room, and I have a bird. Its name is Bird, and Bird was dancing to it when I started playing it in this key. So I'm like, all right, this is the key I'm going to be doing, and if I can get Mother Nature to dance along, I hope you can too. This is some good old Johnny Cash, and thank you so much to everybody here at the Performer Chat Podcast. I really do appreciate you guys having me out. But let's have some fun. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Well, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps rolling on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't mess around with them guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. Yeah, I cry. There's rich folks eating in some fancy dining car. They're probably drinking bourbon and smoking a cheap cigar. But I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. But those people keep it moving, and that's what tortures me. Yeah. Well, if they free me from this prison, if that railroad train was mine, I bet I'll move it on a little farther down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. And I let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. So very much. Thank you and good night.
Okay, that was great. I love the original song.
Thank you so much.
Love Folsom, love Johnny Cash.
Oh, who doesn't?
That's one of Holden's signature songs too.
Oh man.
Have you ever heard Roy Clark perform that one?
Yes.
And he has a lot of fun with that.
Yes, that's why I say, and I cried.
Yeah. Well, he does the. It's like that's a train. And
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got this little trick little finger. It's gonna do a little
the
thing right here, and I got this little bottle. Oh, it's gonna do this. Yes. Yeah. I've seen many a Roy Clark videos. The man is a monster.
Fantastic.
But we have gone through enough tangents for today. Thank you so much. If you've made it this far, drop a comment and say, I made it this far in the video. And Nick, you're crazy.
Nick, you're crazy. But this is crazy fun. And you know what?
Oh, yeah.
I could talk to you all night, man. This was great. It's a lot of fun for me. And we gel, we mesh very well. And,
okay.
And I genuinely enjoyed talking with you this last 2.5 hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, well, we'll do it and it'll be great. I'm like, oh, I like to talk.
I like to talk as well. You know what? There are much more worse ways to spend a Wednesday evening.
Oh, definitely.
And so this is great. So from the Performer Chat podcast, thank you very much. We loved having you on here. You got lots of places you're going to perform. If you go to his website, it is
www.nickkbmusic.com.
Go find out where he's performing and get yourself out there.
Oh, yeah.
This is just a sampling of what he does. And I guarantee it, you will have a good time.
Definitely.
So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll see all of you next time.